What's up, everybody? I'm Lisa.
I'm Brando.
I'm Big Mike.
And this is Brewheads.
You damn right.
And the Lord said,
Brewheads!
We are here at Luppoleto
Yes.
Brewing in Windsor Locks, Connecticut.
Yes.
With the owners and the amazing dynamic duo couple. Please introduce yourselves.
I'm Jen.
That's it? You don't say what you do? Jen does all of the stuff.
Yeah.
I
And
do
then
all the things that James doesn't do.
James does the stuff that Jen won't do.
That's
Yeah.
what makes you the dynamic duo.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
So give us a little more, though. So you do a lot of the social media.
Actually, I do some social media.
Okay.
We have an employee, Taylor, who does the majority
Okay.
of our social media now. So I do.
She handed it off.
I did. I handed it off.
Because
for
Jen
you.
also has a job that she does all day long.
I do. I have a
And then
full-time job.
comes here and does another job.
Yes.
And
I wouldn't
then
call it hand off. I would call it delegate.
Delegate. There
Nice.
we go.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
delegate.
There you go.
Yes.
we're
So I
new to
do
this
the
management thing.
Manage the tap room kind of stuff. So
Yep.
making sure we have employees ready to work and food trucks ready to serve and bands ready to play and events ready to go, all that kind of stuff.
And all the numbers really don't do that much around here.
James is the beer guy. He
Yeah.
makes all the beer, which is the most important part.
It is important.
It is.
It's important, not that important to our customers, but it's important.
And he's the ideas guy. So he like has the ideas behind we should do this and we should do that, and then I make it happen.
Yay or nay.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
Rarely Vito usually just makes it happen.
yeah.
'Cause
You guys
she's that
forgot
good.
to mention the fun games. You guys do trivia, but then also there's another game show where someone at the table might dress up.
True. Yes. So we do regular trivia. We do our Survey Says, where we host it
Yeah.
in our fabulous outfits, game show
Yes.
host outfits. We do.
I'm still so sad that I didn't buy that suit. I took this picture. I was in a store,
Yep.
and there was this ridiculous looking suit that I put on the suit jacket, and I took I struck a pose, took a picture, and it is to this day the most liked picture on my Facebook page. It
And
is indeed.
it's the one we use to promote the Survey Says.
And everybody was like, the biggest mistake you made was not buying that jacket.
Yeah.
And so I tried to get it, and I couldn't. And now, like, all the kids are doing the retro stuff, and now it's popular. Like, then it was like $69.95 for the suit,
Wow.
the jacket and the pants that match.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
fabulous suit, which were just ridiculous, like neon colors and crazy patterns. So I had to improvise. We got something else.
Yeah.
It's not as good.
But it's good. It's decent.
Yeah.
It meets the need.
The pants don't fit
Well,
because
they're a little snug. They're a little cozy on
you
him. So he
never
doesn't usually wear the
trust
pants.
a skinny brewer. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
I don't know. Johnny from Armada might debate that with you.
Yeah,
That's
for
true.
real.
Well, whatever, man.
He's a skinny little man.
That's
Yes.
true. He's magic
he
in some way.
has some special metabolism.
Yep.
Yes, he does.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Or he's not tasting the product enough.
Yeah, well, only he knows.
That's right.
I mean, look, no judgment.
Yeah.
No.
So the other fun game that we do that I think is fairly unique in the brewing scene is we have bocce every Wednesday
Yeah.
night. So we have a very active bocce league.
Indoor bocce.
Indoor bocce
Indoor.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we set up in the tap room, so you can play rain or shine. And it is actually, that was one of James' clever ideas that really took off. And we have a very committed bocce league, 8 to 12 teams every season.
Wow.
It's very competitive, so definitely worth.
We're on season 6, is that right?
I believe so. That sounds
Wow.
right. Yep, season 6.
Is Windsor Locks known for its large bocce?
No,
No.
No. Well,
No.
so here's sort of a very sad way around that. We had an individual here who passed away suddenly, and I don't want to bring this in a dark direction, but just it is what it is. And she had a condition that made her vulnerable to certain situations, specifically heart problems. But in her obituary, it mentioned that she liked playing bocce here, and so her kids had a celebration here after the funeral to just sort of kind of get everybody around, because I don't know, it was something that was important to her.
Right.
It was an outlet for socialization. I don't know. Every once in a while those things happen, and you're like, I'm sad that happened, but also it was kind of neat to be part of that person's life in that way.
Yeah.
So there's actually a team playing in her honor this season.
Oh, wow.
So her last name is Young.
Yep.
And they changed their team name to Young at Heart.
Oh.
And so it's kind of a neat little.
What a beautiful story.
Yeah.
How are they doing?
Actually, really good this
Actually,
season.
they are. Yeah,
they're
I think
3-0.
they're number one.
Yeah, they're
so far
number one this season.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So they're doing well.
I will tell you, the Italian in me, like my grandfather had a bocce set that he, brought over from Italy with him, and it was his prized possession. And every holiday we were over there, we'd be in the yard playing bocce. He taught all of our kids, his grandkids, how to play bocce. When he passed, my nephew, the bocce set is mine. He kept it in like this old paint barrel, like because he was a construction worker, had it in like a barrel, and Luke is like, "This is mine. No one come near it." And so now he has the bucket, and when we
The
get
official.
together, we still have his bocce set. So
Sure.
bocce is it's a family tradition. It's an easy game to play together. There's a lot of rivalry that can happen, and there's a lot of fun to be had. Are you guys familiar with bocce?
No.
No.
So think sort of like a combination of bowling and maybe shuffleboard
Or horseshoes.
or horseshoes.
Yeah,
kind of
horseshoes.
like horseshoes. Yeah.
It's like
So-
horseshoes with a moving target.
Yeah, because the target is a little ball. So if you hit the ball, the target now
balline.
moves. Yeah, exactly. And then so you're trying to bowl your balls as close to the little target ball as possible, and then that target ball keeps moving around the court, and you have to.
And like bowling in the American market, it's neat because on any given day, somebody can do well.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Okay.
And in our scenario, because the traditional court is like, I don't know the actual numbers. I'm just guessing here off the top of my head. It's like something like 80 feet long.
It's ridiculous.
And ours is
24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even.
Yeah.
But it's inside. So we call ours the Elite Bocce League,
Which
is
is
the
Extra little indoor turf experience.
Oh, I dig it.
All right.
So it's a tongue-in-cheek thing because obviously it's not elite, and it's very small and it's very finicky.
Yeah.
It's more like trying to read a putting green at your favorite mini golf course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the floor is
Yeah.
not perfectly level in here.
Yeah.
And the grass gets little bumps in it, and the
Yeah.
the walls get adjusted a little bit as
But
it
that
plays,
gives
but-
everybody a chance, which I think makes it more fun for everybody.
Yeah. Yep.
You never know how the turf is going to lay in
Right.
a particular
Exactly.
day.
Exactly.
So you have to adjust your game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the more you play it, the more you get to read that turf.
It's true.
But there's also beer, so that changes everything.
I forgot that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That was one of the things. Was so how it came about was people used to be like, oh, you should have cornhole. It's a great brew. Everybody loves
Yeah.
cornhole, and we were thinking about it like, well, we could, but we have a lot of like windows
Yeah.
in here,
Yeah,
and didn't
yeah,
want stuff
yeah.
to break, and we decided, bocce. We're an Italian brewery, so
Yeah.
it's Italian, and
Yeah.
it's still a game you can play while holding a beer. You only
Yeah.
need one
Yeah.
hand to do it. So like cornhole in that way, you can hold a
Yeah.
beer while bowling, which was another
Much
key
like
factor
Grandpa's
there.
backyard with our glass of wine.
Yeah, exactly.
Indeed.
Grappo.
Exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, and it caught on, and people love it. It's fun.
What's not to love?
I know.
I may come just to watch.
Yeah, we have like people who even if they're not playing, they show up, or people who
Yeah.
just know it's bocce night and they just show
Well,
up. Yeah.
we also do cocktails that night
Yeah.
because we have the other thing that it brings out is an expected number of people who've committed to coming every week.
Yeah.
So early on when we were doing cocktails, we're like, we got to justify buying a couple bags of ice for doing this because we don't have an ice maker. So we're like, let's add cocktails because like if you're coming every week, we're probably not going to have a new beer for you every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're hoping to try to have something you can mix it up and get something else into that drinking experience. So we started doing cocktails then, again, using all Connecticut ingredients and whatever else I have in my head.
That's very thoughtful.
Yeah.
Must be
did
the
you get it?
Italian.
You clear your throat?
Got it. I got it.
Yeah, it's a constant with him.
See, that's why we need that board so you can just lower.
Lower, yeah.
Nah, I'm just gonna
Shut
call
your
it out every once in a while, just for the fun that
Furball.
happens after that.
Furball.
She's like trying to play it off and keep going, and I'm like, nah.
I side-eyed him.
Yep.
It's all good.
If
Yeah.
I had a foot stepper, that would be just like just shut off his mic. That'd be perfect.
We got one of those.
So we talked, you just mentioned like two things that I wanted to talk about. Number one, I want to talk about, because obviously, the Italian in me wants to talk about the Italian brewery. Shush. I want to talk about the Italian brewery. Like, talk to me about that heritage, why you chose that, brought it here, and the names of the beers, and like, where's all that come from?
So I am a quarter Italian, which doesn't seem like very much, but the rest of it is Irish and English, and the Italian just shoves that out of
Pushes,
the
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
We're pushy that way.
Yeah.
Very greedy.
Also, much better food.
Yeah. Oh.
So, that part of my heritage was much more dominant in a lot of ways, and so I think we try to celebrate that as much as possible here. I think, my great grandmother had this really incredible way about her, where she never seemed like she was trying that hard, but she was always attending to everybody's needs.
Absolutely.
And if you step back and watch, she was trying really hard, but it was always just
Look
she was.
effortless.
It was effortless so that you could relax.
Yeah.
She was there to, and I was just a kid most of this time. I mean, and at the same time, she was just trying to make everybody comfortable, everybody happy, everybody feel like they could relax and unwind. And so we've tried to me, that was an incredible thing to see, and I still don't fully understand how she did it, but I wanted to try to do that. And so that was sort of the idea behind this, was how do we make a place that people can feel like we are attending to their needs, but they can relax and unwind, and it just doesn't feel hectic, right? Like, because there's so much going on. You watch the news for 30 seconds, and you're like, oof, I need to get away from this.
Yeah, for real.
And I'm not saying stick your head in the sand all the time, but like every once in a while, we just need a break. So we just want to try to be that place where you could have a break. Because she was that for us. Even before that was a weight on me, it was definitely a weight on my parents, and I could see that they felt at ease there.
Yep.
If someone had said I was going to leave here tonight teary-eyed in a mush ball, I would have never believed it. But yeah, I mean,
her name?
tug my heartstrings, why don't
What
you?
did you call her?
Her name was Ada Battisti. We called her Nani.
Nani.
Yeah, it was
And
Nani
did
and
she
Poppy.
make sauce or gravy?
She made sauce.
Yes. All right.
And
She barely spoke English. Like, she came over from Italy, Italian, and so she. I mean, I knew her a little bit.
I mean, she was 90-something when you met her.
right. Yeah, and she could get herself understood in English, but it was mostly
They don't
Italian.
make them like that anymore,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
No, and
unless you're Jimmy Carter.
I don't know. Biden seems to be
Happy
doing right for
birthday,
himself,
Jimmy
too.
Carter.
Happy
I
birthday,
guess.
Jimmy. Yeah, man.
Is it his birthday?
It
Yeah,
is.
today he's
Today.
100.
Yeah, he's 100 years
I
old.
sent him a bag of peanuts.
Oh,
Did you really?
No.
That'd be awesome if you could like do that.
You think how, like,
It's the only thing I remember about him from when I was a kid. He liked peanuts. I don't know.
The only thing that, like, when he does pass, you'll go, if he wasn't president, he probably would have lived 5 years longer.
That's right.
yeah,
That's true.
for real.
Yep.
Well,
You know what knocks it out of you.
Go ahead.
Nope. Nope.
my very, very short version of this is he was a bad politician because he was a good human.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, yeah, he really
and I
was.
think he
That
really
was said eloquently.
he really wanted to help people, and he has done that.
Yeah,
And I think to whatever extent that extended his life, I mean, that's why
Yeah.
he's still alive and kicking.
Yeah, because I mean, after like even it's only been like the past like 6 years that he hasn't really been like out doing stuff for people.
Yeah.
Big Habitat for Humanity person,
Yeah.
you know, building houses and stuff like that.
I don't know if he founded that or he was a very
instrumental
critical
in
part of it.
founding it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I mean, like that's the you show your faith with love. That's what he did.
Yeah.
Different human, different kind of person. Anyway,
All right, so that covered the Italian
Yep.
that I wanted to discuss.
Yep.
The other thing was you had mentioned the cocktails with the Connecticut
yeah.
ingredients. Let's talk about a little bit of your cocktails because I know you guys have made some doozies.
I mean, we're trying. So one of the things we try to do. So Taylor actually has been working with us. One of our employees has been working with us to try to help us to kind of develop a seasonal menu. We kind of used to do something that was just off the top of my head every week.
Yeah.
And that was okay, but that was kind of stressful. But I appreciate her for helping me come up with some seasonal menus. So we just kind of do 5 or so cocktails that are seasonally inspired that we can really kind of refine and make sure they're really good, repeatable. But we make a lot of our own like syrups and juices
That's
and
awesome.
and extractions and things to try to make sure that we're making the most of things.
Nice.
Because I found a creative constraint that was actually useful. Like,
So we can only, because of the liquor permit that we have, we can only sell Connecticut
Right.
spirits,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
means you don't have a lot of access to the cordials and the spirits and things like that
Right.
that you
And
can get.
it's-
It's a fairly limited supply of what you can get. It's
I
growing.
mean, you can get
There's
agave.
Yes, exactly. So you can get tequila, agave.
Tequila adjacent
You can
things,
get
yes.
whiskey. You can
Yeah.
get rum. You can get
But you can't get,
vodka.
like,
you
really
can get
bourbon.
Campari.
Right.
But so
There's-
no
there's-
amaros. So like
Yeah.
an Italian cocktail. Well, so there really isn't Italian cocktail culture, from what I understand. I'm not that well versed in it, but one thing I do know when I visited Italy, they don't do shots. Like you don't just drink something to get drunk.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
enjoy it. So everything's a sip and savor thing. And so that's been part of our structure here is we want that to be the first and foremost, like give you something you're going to want to sip and enjoy.
Yeah.
But I think with the lack of having amaros and things like that are these very complex compounds of a bunch of different aromas and we have to kind of make our own way there because there just isn't anybody doing that. So
we grow herbs in our pots outside throughout the summer.
Oh.
So we were making, cocktails with thyme and basil and mint that we go and literally cut
Cut it off.
seconds before
No
we make your
kidding.
drink or whatever. So it has
Wow.
a nice character there, and as much fresh ingredients as we can whenever we can.
yeah, and my assistant brewer has friends in Hawaii. He brought back cocoa nibs from Hawaii from a
Wow.
farm that like his friends run.
Wow.
No kidding.
That they like ground up before they came back here. So we try to incorporate that weird stuff into our cocktail program to make it just unique. Just
If you guys did this and I missed it, I apologize. But I mean, can you guys make limoncello?
So actually, hypothetically we could. There actually is now a distillery that makes limoncello. So we actually just
well,
got
so
some.
the problem here is that we'd have to ask for special access to higher proof liquor to steep it in
I guess if we were to make it ourselves, you're right.
Yeah.
because but and we can make like a pseudo limoncello.
Okay.
But
we actually just got Fifth State down in Bridgeport does
Yeah.
orangello and limoncello.
Oh, you're right. I did hear
and
that.
So we actually just got some of that. We've been playing around with it. So we've been playing around. James has actually been testing some cocktails. We're going to be
Nice.
doing some this week.
Never trust.
I was going to say, I
Yeah.
bet you can do a few autumn, fall with the orange cello.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's fun to try what. Like I think the programs here in Connecticut are just starting to come into their own, where there's like a nice mix of people who are not just getting into it because they see the opportunity. The people who are like maybe a little bit more. Look, I'm not saying that there are people who are bad at this because they just see the opportunity and they want to make money. But sometimes that happens.
Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Any
They
business.
just see it as an investment, not really part
Right.
of the
Passionate
culture.
about
Yeah,
the-
yeah, yeah.
And there's also an aspect of early days, like how do you take, something like, let's say bourbon, right? Where it's got to be aged at least 2 years. How are you getting product out the door that you're making money while you're waiting for that stuff?
Yeah.
And let's be honest, most of the good bourbon, it's 4 years or more.
Right.
At least.
And they're just getting into it and they're using smaller barrels and all this stuff. So it's very challenging to get spirits that taste good. Meanwhile, they're also up against some cost problems, right?
Yes.
Because you're buying barrels, you're trying to turn things over, you don't have
Yeah.
any money coming in. Unless you have really deep pockets, it's hard to do. So we've tried to be creative with it. There's a number of places who are putting out like moonshine adjacent things, like some corn whiskeys and things like that. Instead of being like, hey, this is a bourbon thing, it's not bourbon, it's corn whiskey.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
But don't expect bourbon flavors. We're giving you something else. But, if you want whiskey, it's really hard to do in a very new market. But we've got some incredible clear spirits. I think the gins coming out of Fifth State are exceptional, personally. That's my taste.
I would agree.
I think a number of places, that's where their best products are coming out in the clear spirits.
yeah.
The brown spirits aren't there yet, in my opinion. But I mean, maybe I think it's just a time situation. But we're mixing stuff too, and that's where you're like, I'm not going to spend $50 on a bottle that I'm mixing
Right.
it for people.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna have to charge you like $20 for a cocktail, and we're in
Yeah.
Windsor Locks, and it's not happening. So
You mentioned moonshine. Have you guys been to full moonshine in Canton? I know you guys don't get out very often,
We
but
have not, actually.
I'll tell you what, that is a place you have to check out. And I know I
Alright.
keep
Yeah,
promising to
yeah,
take you
yeah,
guys
you
too.
do.
I mean, what hosts they are
group
there.
outing. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, let's do it. Any given Sunday after football
on.
season.
Yeah. I was about to say, after football season.
Any
yeah.
given Sunday after football season.
Well, who's your team? They might be out of it already.
Well, no, not
Actually,
yet.
no.
Actually, my team is looking pretty good. And I will
how'd you-
make my first public announcement in support of my new quarterback. I am a Washington Commanders fan.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I am just now
You know what? I think that's the,
jumping
first,
on the
that's the
Daniel
first time I heard you say
Commanders.
know.
Because we're being recorded right
Oh.
now.
There you
So that's
go.
important.
I'm being politically
Gotta use
correct
the
at the
right-
moment.
right
Washington football team.
No, that one I definitely can't do. I mean, I'm trying to adapt to the Commanders.
I had you
don't
pegged for a
follow
Giants
sports.
person. Sorry.
I don't follow sports, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Sure.
Okay. That's
No,
cool.
I for whatever
Glad
reason,
you're following.
I was just thinking we're in Giants territory, and I was just like, oof, they just
Oh, they're
lost
bad.
last week and
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're bad.
looked bad.
Yeah.
Sorry. So the Patriots, they look
Diversion.
terrible too.
Yeah.
I was. Oh, yeah.
Are you guys football people?
Laid a smack
We used to be
So-
before we owned a brewery.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I
I'm never
mean,
home
how
on
else
Sundays.
did you want to spend the rest of your lives
That's right.
besides making beer
Well-
and,
well, so-
entertaining the masses?
The funny story is my family were like all not anti-sports. My dad didn't care about sports. My mom didn't care about sports. My dad cared about tennis a little and competitive sailing.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So they were from Buffalo, and he used to race sailboats on the Great Lakes.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
And then, so I was the one kid in school who knew about the America's Cup and,
yeah, for real.
you come in handy for trivia.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
and also a little
From
bit.
1986
Right.
to
Yeah.
1992, and
There you
then he's worthless. But yeah.
That's about right, actually, in general. No, but
Yeah.
I do. No, but then after that, So I was like, I like this football game. I was born in Buffalo. I'm going to follow the Bills.
Yeah.
Attaboy.
And they went on to lose
Four
Four
consecutive.
times in a row.
Yeah.
And I was like, I give up.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow the Patriots now. And then all of a
Because
sudden they were good.
okay.
Yeah.
They were good.
And
Now
so
they're
I
back
don't-
to being the Patriots.
Yeah, now they're back to the Patriots I used to know, the Drew
Brady
Bledsoe
effect.
days.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm a Drew Bledsoe era fan of the Patriots, but I enjoyed watching when it was
The Tom Brady
when it was
years.
But
Brady.
I mean, Bledsoe
but-
got his ring.
yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't play, but he got his ring. That's it. And then opened up his vineyard and said, "Fuck y'all."
I mean that's a win right there.
You know,
I think.
I have to
Seriously.
say, because we're talking about Bledsoe, and of course it alludes to Tom Brady, but did anyone watch the roast of Tom
Oh,
Brady?
Yeah.
No, I
Yes.
did not. Watch
Bledsoe
that,
just
no.
sitting there, just like, yeah, buddy.
It was hilarious. Yep.
It was pretty funny.
I thought he did actually a very good job
Bledsoe did a good
for a
job.
non-comedian.
Yes. Absolutely.
I think he was the best of the non-comedians.
Correct.
As far
Yeah.
as his bits that he did. Yep.
Some really hilarious bits though.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That I did watch. That I did watch. In Bledsoe, I remember I worked at Big Y in Long Meadow, and they were in the Super Bowl, and there was this big, like Drew Bledsoe thing by like the Coca-Cola, just,
Yeah.
cardboard, like,
Yep.
and I'm just like, what? Yeah, all right. That's my Drew Bledsoe story.
There
That's
you
a
go.
great story.
That was.
Thanks, pal.
I like it better just because he said Coca-Cola.
I
You
know,
nailed
like
it.
not Coke, it was specifically Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well,
Otherwise,
look-
we could have gotten confused
We talked about Coke, right?
by the Coke display at the Big Y.
Well,
This
this
is-
was the 90s, and
Yeah.
so
No,
there
you
might
need
have
a
been.
visual media here because he cocked his arm back there like a true quarterback
Yeah.
wannabe.
I know how to throw.
Yeah.
I know how to throw. It's
There you
not
go.
Not a punch.
There you go.
Beat you.
Not with the right hook.
That's true. That's true. So I have to get this one thing in because I never get it in during a video. I always ask it when we're just talking or whatever. Tell us about your brew system.
That's an interesting question. Okay. So our brew system happens to be 3.5 barrels.
It's a Blickman Engineering brew
Yep.
system.
It's an electric system. It's, I think, in my personal opinion, the biggest size I would go for an electric system before it stops being efficient.
Yeah.
It's also super not efficient because we live in the second most expensive state from an electricity perspective. But it helped us get regulatory approval where we didn't have to worry about open flames and things like that.
Don't need a steam boiler.
So-
Don't need
Yep.
gas.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's
Don't need to worry about fire suppression because it's
Yep.
just electric elements sitting in liquid. It's not going to start a fire, hopefully. So, yeah.
Unless you're a Tesla
Well,
in salt water.
that has to do with cesium and other things. And yeah,
these are just wires.
these are just
Yeah.
wires.
Just yeah.
There's no
That's all.
batteries here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No
Uh,
lithium ion.
No,
nothing,
lithium
yeah.
ion.
Yeah.
Yeah. No
Um,
cobalt.
No
Nope.
cobalt. Yeah, but it works for us. At a small scale, it allows us to do what we need to do relatively cost effectively.
We have 2 7-barrel fermenters and a 3.5-barrel fermenter, so we can do double batches into
Yeah.
the 7s or single batch into 3.
And then we have 2 7-barrel bright tanks upstream from that and 2 3.5s in a cold room.
Nice.
And we serve most of our beers off those tanks.
Very cool.
So we have minimal
off the
number
bright
of
tanks?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Minimal number of transfers.
Yeah,
so we don't have to worry about cleaning a bunch of kegs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, it's like I'm saving every time we fill a 7-barrel tank. It's 14 kegs I don't have to clean.
Oh, I like
and,
that.
and it also makes it so it's less opportunity for some problem. So for us, it seems to be a good fit. I think, because we serve everything here, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Now, from serving off of the bright, do you see the beer evolve over time more so than you do from kegs? Because I know at Kingsman they used to, more so for their IPAs back in the day. They used to have a like that because they serve off their brights.
Yeah, no. So I would say that for the most part, we see pretty positive movement from our beers.
Yeah.
Partially because we can pull some of our IPAs a little sooner than you normally would.
Okay.
And they'll still sit on the hops, but we can serve off of a higher port from the tank.
Okay.
So it's not going to be like chunky.
Yeah.
So we get a little bit more contact time with the dry hops after we get it cold and carbonated.
Yeah.
So I feel like it hits kind of a sweet spot in there, like 2 weeks after we move it, which is nice on average. But it also feels like we get that for a little longer, and then if we feel like there's something that's unpleasant that's happening, we can just pull off the bottom port, get any stuff that's accumulated out of that tank.
Okay.
But for the most part, we get kind of a benefit from that, and then on any of the lagers we do, yeah, I mean it's nice to not have to use any sort of fining agents or filtration, because I feel like we used to use them early days. We stopped because I just feel like they impact either flavor or head retention more than I'd rather they do.
Yeah.
And we can get kind of a purer flavor out of it. So that's the nice thing about the tanks we have right now. Yeah.
I think any of the beers that we've ever had are amazing.
Yeah. Always good.
Thanks.
I will always enjoy them.
Appreciate you.
Now, I do have to ask, because we are in Windsor Locks, and probably because of demo, do you feel that the fact that you guys have stayed more traditional style kind of helps, or do you think that because you guys stay more traditional, when you do a little bit of experimental, the crowd doesn't respond too well?
I think the bulk of our market, the folks that are like regulars here, like beer flavored beer.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
like
Hands down.
traditional
Oh, yeah.
styles. They that's what they enjoy. We get interest in the things that we do that are more experimental for sure. We're not doing too many crazy things. James always says he will never put a finished food product in our beer. So there will not be a cake in our beer. There will
No
not
chicken
be-
wings?
Yeah, no chicken
chicken
wings.
wings.
Like,
That's unfortunate.
Like that kind of stuff. Just not the
Buffalo?
vibe we have here.
You're not really from Buffalo.
He will pair our beer with buffalo wings.
That's
but-
perfect. That's
Yeah.
even better.
Yeah. So I think, we're not going to be the hype brewery. I don't
Yeah.
think we're going to get the like crazy people lining up for some can release of something we're doing. But I think we have a really good committed audience of people who know when they come and when they get a beer, it's going to taste like what it should taste like,
Right.
and
Yeah.
what they expect a beer like that style to taste
What
like.
you read in the description, you're probably going to be tasting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
I think that's one thing we've been let down at before is, you read this description, you read the ingredients, you're kind of like, how is all of that going to come through with all the stuff that you just put in there?
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you sip it, and it's like, well, this is just a very sweet double IPA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
need to put all this stuff in it.
Right.
And then you read the simplicity of the ingredients of, a beer at a place like this, and you're like, oh, I taste that.
Yeah.
Oh, I taste that. Oh, that's very clean. I get why you put that in there.
Yeah.
Not,
And I think it's sort of an Italian tendency too. Something that I learned when I visited there was that, like, we think of things in the U.S. as just like a bunch of ingredients in something to make it more complex. They're looking for the best ingredients.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if your sauce has a really good tomato in it, it's going to be the best sauce you ever
Yeah,
had.
exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't have to have 30 things in it.
Yeah.
It just has to have the essence of that one really good tomato. And so, like, we tend towards that approach with our beer making too. We're choosing ingredients that cost more, that we're importing from Germany and all that stuff, because it tastes better to me, and there's more to it without us having to add anything else. I think we actually had the opportunity to visit Weirmann Malting in Bamberg when we were in Germany a couple years ago, and it's amazing how you can taste something that it's just one thing. It's just malted barley,
Yeah.
and it just tastes a lot better than a lot of the other malted barley I've had. If you just eat it raw, in your hand, just take a handful and just crunch on it. And there's layers of flavor there, and you're going like, these guys have been doing it for a really long time.
Yep.
And they're getting they're looking for characteristics from the farmers in the original product, and then they're treating it specially in the way that they malt it, and they're taking care when it gets to us. I don't know. I think some of the reasons that a lot of our beers taste really good are these incredible raw ingredients we get, and we just try to let those show through, because you can if you use restraint. If you step back a little bit and say, like, I'm just going to let this be the star.
Yeah.
And I think to whatever extent we can do that, that's winning for us, I think.
I was just making sauce on Sunday with my daughter, her first time
Sure.
in front of the pot.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, it doesn't have enough flavor. I need to add more. And I'm like, stop. Let it simmer.
Right.
You have to let the flavors come out. You can't just
Yep.
keep adding
Yeah.
spices. You're going to overdo it.
Yep.
And then an hour later, oh, I do taste more. Yes. Just let it
Yeah.
simmer.
Like the kids
Yeah.
say, you gotta let it cook.
That leg cook?
I don't think they mean it like that.
No.
No, that's definitely what they mean.
That's
yeah.
why they mean it. No, that is how they gotta. Yeah.
Let me cook.
Yeah, you gotta let it cook.
Now it's gonna be let me sim.
That's right.
Let sim.
So with all of that, like, what was your favorite beer that you made?
Do you have an opinion on this, Jen?
I really, well, it so much depends on my mood, but I think, like, at the end of the day, if I had to pick one off the menu that I could probably drink any day, it would be, I like Vesuvio.
Really? Okay. I thought you were going to say Bailiwick.
Or Bailiwick, yeah, that's true. No, but I think I would say Vesuvio because I think it's unique. So that's our smoked alt beer.
Yeah.
So it is a brown beer with a little bit of smoke character. It's malty. It's got a little bit of smoke without tasting like an ashtray,
Yeah,
without
yeah.
tasting like a ham.
Yeah.
Like it's got the right kind of balance of the smoke and the brown character. I love it, especially like in the cooler months.
Yep.
It is sort of loosely modeled off of one of my favorite beers, which was the Sierra Nevada Tumbler, which they just recently brought back in the mix pack. And
Oh, did they?
You can get it
At Costco, yeah.
At
Oh.
And New
Costco
Britain.
in New Britain. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the only
yeah,
one.
yeah.
There's
I
like
go to that Costco's.
Yeah, so go there and get the like 32
Yeah.
pack or whatever, and
It's
just
in
give
that?
me all the tumbler, and then you can take everything else.
Oh, you got to feed.
Yeah, that's right. But no,
Now
so
it's
it's
costs.
Yeah.
it's inspired by that. And then I think what was really cool is when we went to Bamberg, which is like the smoked beer capital. We were trying beers from Schlenkerla and places like that, and we
Yeah.
got back. He'd already made Vesuvio; it existed, and we got back and we're like, "Holy cow, this tastes just like those beers that we had." in
That's
No
Bamberg."
kidding.
awesome.
That's
So
good.
yeah, it was insane how much it was similar in a lot of ways. So I don't know. I just find it unique. I find it delicious. I find it very drinkable, but without being boring in any way.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Like
What do
you're
you-
facing sucking the smoke out of a fire,
But like,
Oh, I thought you were going to say
said
your
her
face
face.
was boring. I mean, look,
We heard the same thing.
just like your face. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
look, she's just your average,
on top of this one.
she's your average white girl,
You're just basic.
It's fine.
Just-
It's fine.
pumpkin
Hey,
spice.
At the grocery store the other day, a gentleman stopped me to tell me I was a beautiful woman. So he may have
See?
been like a slightly crazy person, but I will take it from wherever it
Look.
comes.
Well, I
Yeah,
would
but
ask if it was
that-
Brando, but obviously it wasn't.
That's how old Jen is.
I know, that's right, exactly. I was like, oh, shucks.
Yeah.
So, all right,
Take compliments from strangers old.
that's right. That's right.
Brando's not
I'm just
sleeping
making-
tonight.
I am just making friends.
You're going to get 500 texts tomorrow. I hope you understand that's really not what I was saying.
No, you know what? No, I'll do that now.
I-
That was not what I was saying.
To be honest, I didn't even hear that. They heard it,
didn't
so it's
What a
fine.
couple
I didn't
assholes
hear
we
it.
are.
I didn't hear it either.
James, I like the cut of your jib, sir.
You guys
Right
are
back
cut,
at you.
You guys are cut from the same piece of shit.
Yeah, we are.
But you know, the pause after the face was a little extra.
Yeah.
But I knew that's not what he meant.
Yeah. All right, so James,
My
what's-
favorite beer
Yeah.
that
I
I've
don't
made.
care anymore.
Fucking Brandon doesn't care. Oh wait,
fair.
can I swear? I can't swear.
Yeah, of course you
Okay.
can.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Tell Brandon to shut the fuck up. This is your time.
It is the super boring beer. It's Publicano.
Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah.
So this goes back to one of those
Ingredients.
ingredient conversations where we're buying floor malted barley from a place that has been doing it for a long time. One of
Yeah.
the only places that keeps doing it the same way. And yes, there are good things and bad things to that method, but what I think is cool about it is it gives the beer this unique, toasty, nutty characteristic, and it's a really simple recipe. And it's just kind of a celebration of this unique way of making malt, where they just spread it out on the floor instead of using modern kilns, which are basically glorified drying machines.
Yeah.
And they do this in this very manual way where there's rakes on the floor and they're dragging things along there. And
Crazy.
yeah, it's nuts. And it's very inefficient, and it provides a much greater variation in flavor. But I think that's what makes it interesting to use as an ingredient. So, like, anytime I get an opportunity to celebrate that kind of stuff, we're using in that beer, we're using 100% barley from crisp number 19 floor malted barley in that, and then we're using an old yeast, the Timothy Taylor strain from the UK, which is just it's another one of those things that's kind of gone out of vogue in the country that it came from, and we're now experiencing all of the goodness that those people are like, I'm done with that. And we're having the opportunity to be like, wait a minute, this is great, this is really cool. So we're trying to celebrate that and give it another life over here. I like that one. That one I made for me,
Good for you.
and I drank a lot of it.
It's hard to sell that one because he drinks most of it.
That's all right.
It actually sold really fast.
It did. It goes very fast.
And,
Well, it
and
sold very fast because you drank most
well,
of
True.
it.
it was
He
some
drank
of
half
that.
and
It was
we sold
some of that, but we also found a lot of people who were like, "Wait a minute, no one's made something like this in a while."
Yeah.
And so it resonated with people. It did.
It's an English pale ale. If that wasn't obvious. So.
It wasn't. I didn't say that.
No, you
Thanks.
didn't. Yep.
Thanks for
I
doing
was
that.
going to say what
Yeah.
style it was, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brendo, I know
Appreciate
you're
it.
a big fan of their smoked beer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I love the smoked beer. I've had my first smoked beer experience was here.
Oh, really?
My second was Dead Language.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And now it's like, if I go here, I look for, it's either stout or smoked. At Dead Language, it's Doki Doki and smoked.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's just,
You saw he finally canned Doki Doki, right?
Doki Doki!
yep. Yeah, I do appreciate a good smoke.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of Dead Language, you guys
Yeah.
did a nice collab with them.
Yeah,
the
that was
Kentucky
fun.
Fried collab.
Yep.
Indeed.
Yep. Speaking of
Which-
old styles that have
Yeah, there you
been-
go.
Yeah.
No real Kentucky Fried Chicken made it in
No,
Yeah.
to
correct.
the
Yeah.
beer.
No,
There was
no.
no chicken.
That would have been
No fried
against one
products.
of, right,
Yeah.
right.
We're not Little House. We don't put the actual chicken in the beer. They did it. Well, but it's
Yeah.
a real style.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
It
Yeah,
is
it
a
is
real
thing.
style, and it
Yeah.
scares me. And good
Yeah.
for them for doing it.
I'll tell you what, chips
But-
and salsa, man.
But
Oh, yeah, it's
Chipper
good.
and dipper, chips and salsa.
Chips and dip. And
I don't care
chipper and
what they
dipper.
do because they have that. And
I'm not
it's-
hating. I'm just saying I'm not that brave.
Yeah.
I'm not that brave to dip a chicken in my in my beer.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Thinking about it now.
dipping chicken in your beer later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Raw chicken or
Little
cooked
bake-
chicken?
bake- yeah, baked or
Buffalo
fried.
And just,
Oh.
get some wingets.
Get some
Oh,
wingets, yeah.
Just drink it with a little like a bouillon cube chaser.
There you go.
I have the.
That actually
better
sounds
than
delightful.
Yeah, there you go. That's
it
what.
is.
Yeah. yeah.
Oh,
Bougie.
it's a little gloppy.
Bouillon.
It's a little gloppy. You got to get it hotter for that. You got it's going to be a hot thing.
Stir it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
It's my immersion.
No. So the Kentucky Fried collab. You want to talk about it?
No, I'll let you talk about it.
You look like you wanted to.
Nope.
Okay.
She just wanted to correct you because you weren't
You were like
enunciating the words
Kentucky
yet.
Fried.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if
she
you
was
knew
just
the
helping
last
you out.
word.
Yeah, she was helping you
I
out.
didn't. That's a hard word. Collab
I
is a
know
hard
it
word.
is. Yep.
No, so we made our, I think our interpretation of what is a very vague style.
Yeah.
There is not a lot of documentation about what it is, but basically
The Kentucky Common.
the Kentucky Common style was a style of beer that was brewed for the large migrant German population that moved to bourbon country to help out with various tasks there, many of which were butcher oriented. Because the bourbon industry wasn't actually that big yet. It was there, but not that big yet.
Yeah.
And so, but there were the ingredients that were readily available were malted barley in some proportion, but also lots of corn. So this is a high corn percentage grist bill for us, and then we put a little bit of rye in there too, just for good measure. Because I mean, come on,
'Cause why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of that rye character in there, and then some malted barley, and but yeah, it was basically because the people who were the migrant workers there didn't have anything to drink. They were looking for beer, and all was around was spirits. So suppose again,
What are you going to do?
what are you gonna do?
What are you
Right?
gonna do?
Well, so look,
Problem I'd like to have in life.
people like me,
Beer and liquor? What?
they tend to drink a lot of liquid, and if you do that with spirits, you get in a lot of trouble.
Yes.
So they were looking for something to kind of stretch that, and so this is supposedly a style that was developed for them. So that's kind of same combination, broadly speaking, of the ingredients that go into bourbon. We did that as a beer, and really relatively low alcohol, pretty low alcohol,
Yes,
like
four,
Actually, yeah.
four,
Yep.
nine.
But it is
4, 2.
filling. At least when you drink a liter of it, it's very
Yeah.
filling.
I can imagine. Yeah.
I think that's the right portion.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
about the right size.
Yep. Yep. But it's good because it's light in alcohol, and but it's not light in flavor. Like
Yeah.
I always tell people it's a light amber ale, so it's
Yeah.
not. It's like take your Sam Adams and just knock it down a little.
Yeah.
And it's super drinkable. It's refreshing, but still has a malty character.
It really
I don't know.
is. It's really good.
I like
But
it. It came out good.
filling after a liter.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like anything's filling after a liter.
On my ride here, I was listening to the radio, and I don't even know what station I was on, but they had some like food person,
Yeah.
like one of those foodies, talking about Oktoberfests that are happening
Yep.
around the state. And 3 of the people, the foodie and the 2 radio hosts, had no idea what Stein holding contests were.
Really?
Oh my God.
Why are they talking about it?
Yeah.
Because they were talking about Oktoberfests, and they're like, yeah, there's these things like, you
Was
know,
it Beer
the-
Man Beer?
Stein holding. No, but there, cut that. There's a Stein holding competition, and one of the people said, you know, oh, what's a Stein? How big is it? And they're like, oh, it's probably like, you know, 8 to 12 ounces.
Oh my God.
Add a few.
My face was like, and then someone goes, what the guy on the radio goes, I think they can go up to 64 ounces, and you just to hold it out there for as long as you can. And I'm like, why are you having the segment when you
Yeah,
are clearly
yeah.
a fucking idiot?
Yeah, you have no clue what you're talking about.
Just nobody researched.
No.
They could have asked
They
us.
could have just
Well,
Googled
not only
real
that,
quick.
they could have
They
Googled
could have
it.
just Googled it real quick.
And they were talking about like these town Oktoberfests, and someone some smart person made the comment, I think the breweries do Oktoberfests pretty well. Oh, you think?
Yeah.
You
Oh,
would
thanks
think
for
so.
that tip.
Yeah.
Thank God you were there to tell me that.
What are you filling these 64-ounce growlers with?
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know. I can't even imagine
Now,
holding
they
a
take the
64 ounce.
and dump it into the 8s?
I don't know. You know what I
Divide
think?
it.
I
They
think
waterfall it?
waterfall. That's it. But I was floored at this conversation because I would think that, you know, I mean, although I should never be amazed at the stupidity of people,
Nope.
but 8-ounce Stein?
Yeah.
Well, so
Yeah, I got it at a beer. I got it at the Oktoberfest.
I mean,
And they said they could be made of plastic.
sure.
No.
Not
I
for
mean,
Stein holding
you can
competition.
get
for that.
yeah, but not for Stein holding competition.
So I had the opportunity to be on the news when I was early in my career. So Dan Kane, I don't know if that name means anybody.
It sounds
anybody.
familiar.
Sounds
No.
like Superman.
Yeah, right.
That was Dean.
Thank you.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
similar
Guy.
though.
But he was.
It was cute.
It was Channel 3. He used to do
Yeah.
like this, the
Yeah.
human interest
White-haired
stories
guy.
on Channel 3. Yeah. The segment at the end of the news.
Yeah, fun story. He got his start working for Playboy, but that's a whole
Oh,
other story.
well, that's why he sounds familiar.
Yeah, there we go. That's going to resonate with more people.
Those articles I would read.
That's filling it in for more people. Yes. Phrasing. So they came to the house, and so this is when I went to beer camp, which was this thing where I won this video contest to get to go to Sierra Nevada.
You went to.
Are you raising your hand for this?
Do you want to be in
Yes.
beer camp?
Yes. Do you want to
Yeah.
go to beer camp?
How old were you?
How do you get to beer camp?
Wait, so they don't do this anymore.
No, it's unfortunate.
It was a thing, but so the early
Wah, wah,
days
wah.
of the internet, they were yes, ma'am.
Maybe you could host a beer camp this summer for the cool
sure.
kids.
Well, the whole thing was with the Asheville campus, they were going to have like cabins there and
Oh, that's
stuff,
right, they
and
were.
then they,
Oh,
Well,
Um,
I think
That
they're
get
fine.
flooded out too.
yeah.
they're too
think
high
they're
ground
okay,
for
yeah,
flooding,
yeah.
but
Really?
they definitely are going to be focusing on other things right now.
Yeah.
All right, so anyway, I'm sorry. I'll
Sorry,
stop
yeah.
interrupting.
Derailed the story to the sad
Beer
part of
camp,
the story.
yeah.
Beer camp. So basically, I got to go to Chico, California, and so there's 10 people from the U.S. outside of California, and then 10 people from within California who got to go.
Nice.
And you just had to make a video of why you deserve to go to beer camp. And so I made a goofy video, and it got their attention.
And it's out on the internet if you find it.
Is it on YouTube?
It
Yeah.
is.
Oh, I'll find it now.
If you look
it's on
back,
Game
our-
on.
if you look back on our blog on our website, you can go back and there's a link to it.
It's
from
on
there.
our webpage
Cue the
somewhere.
video.
Oh,
Yeah.
cue the
Yeah, okay, here's
oh.
where you cue the
Cue
video.
the
Okay,
video.
find the video.
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
It's
cool.
pretty goofy.
Yeah.
And it's pretty long.
Hey,
but-
everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Well done.
I made beer. Anyway, so I went out there. Oh shoot! Now I've lost my thread.
We're so sorry.
Dean,
probably
it was
my
when
fault.
you came back from beer camp. They did a story about you and
Yes,
your trip
news.
at beer camp. Yep.
They got like a good 50% of the story wrong. They came to my
wow.
house and interviewed me personally.
Wow.
It was just face to face with
Yeah.
one dude, and they still got most of the stuff wrong
Like
in the
bits
segment
that
they
would
did.
do. Yeah.
And
Doesn't sound like the news.
And so it was like, oh, well, apparently we can't really trust them to do stuff. So if you ever think, I'm going to have somebody promote something for me, they're probably going to promote it on the wrong day, the wrong thing, the wrong
Yeah.
brewery in the wrong town. So why bother?
Yeah.
But also trust everything they say about whatever else is going on in the world. It's definitely true.
All of it.
Yeah. They couldn't get a beer story correct.
I only
about
read
beer
what I
camp.
believe. I only believe what I read on Facebook.
Sure.
There you
yeah.
go.
That's the
yeah,
truth.
That's the way to live.
Yeah.
For sure. There's nothing wrong with that.
I only read what Brando says.
There's no truth or fact to
No
that.
truth or fact to that.
No.
Your statement or my Facebook.
Well, that's all I read, though, but it doesn't matter.
because it's ridiculous.
Ah, yeah.
It's usually good for a laugh. Yeah.
That's what I do.
That's powerful.
The great thing is he thinks he's a genius.
Me?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that was loud. Potato capital of Maine. There is something to be said about a fresh, dug up Maine potato. I kid you not.
Do you
Maine-
think the place in the main building literally is like using fresh Maine potatoes, or are they buying like from
Costco.
Cisco the like
went to
giant
Stop and
bag
Shop
of
on the
truck?
way here.
Yeah.
So rumor has it
Russets.
they are brought down from Maine.
Alright.
Rumor has it.
Rumor has
Rumors
it.
have been wrong.
Right. So
Rumors said Power
do I
Hollow
believe
makes
that?
good beer.
No. Which is why I also don't wait half an hour for a fucking
no
potato.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I can go and buy a Maine potato, scrub it up real nice,
Yeah, and bake it up and
bake it up, and
schlep
put
all
some
your
bu-
stuff
yeah,
on there. Yeah.
Shine it up real nice. Turn it sideways.
Sideways.
Yeah.
Oh.
And now we're on to
The
wrestling.
Rock wasn't a piece of shit.
Oh, don't talk about Dwayne.
No, I said The Rock.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
It's two different people.
Yep. All right, we're recording again?
Yeah, we were recording.
Okay, so we have all that.
So,
We don't. That's called a colonoscopy.
Yeah.
And that's not what we're talking about here.
no.
Although we are maybe coming of that age.
Oh,
my
yeah.
God. Yeah.
Is that not what you want your
I'm at
podcast
the
to be?
age.
No, it's fine.
No.
I want mine
Am
on
I the only
podcast.
one old enough to need the colonoscopy?
No, I need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's.
I
Yeah,
should have gotten it like.
yeah
I
he
don't know,
should have
4
got.
years
He
ago.
should at least got the finger by now.
I was watching.
Oh, I've been fingered.
You been fingered? Okay.
Yeah. Now we're back on lube.
Yeah. I think
You haven't been fingered properly.
I think my next
It's only
visit,
been with
I think I
lube.
get the finger.
Yeah, we got it yet.
I haven't gotten it yet, but I think my next visit I'll end up. My next
It's
physical,
It's not bad.
I get the finger.
It really feels like something that technology should be working on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I want a robot to do that, not some person.
Do you really want a robot to do that?
Yes.
Just like malfunction.
Yeah.
Hold you up in the
just-
air.
I'm not talking about. You don't need robot fingers. You can have little tiny robots doing
Yeah,
this shit.
yeah,
Come on,
yeah.
man.
Like
Yeah,
a
no.
drone.
I'm thinking like
exploration?
I'm thinking like
No.
Fantastic
Look.
Voyage sort of shit.
Look, as long
Magic
as the
school bus, just shrink
Yeah.
it down.
Yeah.
Look,
Just
as long as the
Ooh, what
doctor
was
doesn't
that
have
guy?
both his hands on my shoulder,
No,
I'm
not
okay.
sleepy body. You are what you eat, from your head down to your feet. That freaking commercial. I'm way older than. Okay, never mind.
You just
I
dated
probably saw
yourself.
it.
You just dated
That little
yourself.
orange guy.
Yeah, you just dated yourself.
If I saw it, I would remember it. I know I would.
They used to show that at the throwback commercials for me when I was a kid. So yeah.
I just want a pill
Ouch.
I can take with some sort of robot in it, and it can just do what it needs to do, and then
Oh, you want it to be that kind.
Like,
Okay.
oh, what was that movie back in the day with Steve Martin? No, was it Steve Martin?
No,
No, it was,
Inner Space.
Seren-
Inner
Inner
Space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he goes inside.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
No,
That's
no,
a
no, no,
different
no,
one. Yeah.
no.
Oh,
And
Inner
then they're-
Space.
Inner Space.
Now I got it.
Fighting at the end.
Yeah. I used to love that movie.
Told him to look in the mirror and change his whole
Full
face,
face.
like a cowboy. Yeah. All right. Good times.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's.
all right.
let's move
so,
on.
Speaking of time, 5 years.
5 years.
Nice segue.
Yeah, that was
Well
nice.
done.
Oh, wow.
Clever.
Yeah.
So smooth.
Yeah.
That was
a
good.
broadcast professional over here.
He was a radio DJ in college.
No.
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 Never went to
Okay.
college.
Okay.
College wasn't my thing. I was making money. Fuck college.
That was smart, actually, in a lot of ways. Yep. So yeah, 5 years. Yep, we've been around for 5 years. And,
Festiversary.
our
Jen,
festiversary.
say it sadder.
We've been here
Been
for,
around for 5 years, I
whole
guess.
years.
Ugh.
No, it's actually pretty crazy because it's in some
Look-
ways it doesn't feel like it's been 5 years,
Yeah.
and then other ways it feels like I can't remember what life was like back
well, I
then.
mean-
For the brewery,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah,
Unfortunately, there's like a 3-year gap in everyone's brain.
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think the most important part of it is all like anybody who made it through that time period, good on you, because
Yeah.
it was tough.
yeah.
Yeah, for real.
And we're not special because of that. We're lucky that we had really great customers who supported us.
We survived on like 10 customers who just came every week, bought a case of beer that we put
Yeah.
in
We
their
had a
trunk.
rotation of other people who were coming
Yeah.
in and helping out, but there was like a core group of people who several of those people had never even been in here.
Yeah,
wow.
They just picked us as somebody they were going to help through this.
yeah.
yeah.
And it was, I just, I mean, some of them still come in, some of them don't. But I don't know. I don't know how you. We're really appreciative of those people. It's,
Yeah.
We're really lucky to have had that. We're only around because of them.
Yep, for sure.
That's gotta be scary times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely different to, we had opened September 2019, and so, you make it through the first few months where you get the big rush and everyone's like,
Yeah.
And then there's going to be a little dip after that, but then you think it's going to come back up again. And so, we were 6 months in, and
Yeah.
We were starting to
getting
get kind of like a little bit of
a little momentum going.
There were some regulars who were coming in, and we had a pretty good.
We were just starting to bring in live music and
Yeah.
food trucks and all that stuff. And then it was like, oh, just kidding. We're going to stop everything
Right.
and
Right.
figure out how to exist differently and then ease back into it. And I've always said James is very good at pivoting. So it was like, okay, we're
Yeah.
going to we hit a roadblock. Let's figure out how to get around this roadblock. There was never a, I give up. It was, it was a figure out, okay, this roadblock, cool. We're going to go this way and then get around it. And
The week we shut down, we were selling bottles that week.
yeah, he saw it coming and he ordered like a whole pallet of bottles so that we could be selling. Because we didn't have cans at the time.
Yeah.
We were doing swing top growlers, which you couldn't really do in a COVID environment. So he bought 22-ounce growlers and bottles, and we had a capper, and we just hand-filled cases of bottles every week and made it through, and then figured out how to do outdoor seating here and how to do when you have two long communal tables, social distancing gets complicated. So figure out how to make that work. And
so we wrote some software to make it so that people could order on their phones and from outside and
from their tables, so they didn't have to come to the counter. James was a software developer in his former life, and so he and a friend wrote a whole ordering system for us where they could order beers from their table and made it really easy for everyone. And it was it worked really well. And we kind of figured it out, and then have just been sort of growing and evolving and adding little things bit by bit.
Events and bands.
Exactly. Yep. All that stuff.
because it's not beer anymore. It's something else.
Right.
It used to be like all you need to do is like, we have beer, and people are like,
Right.
I'm there.
Yeah.
Right,
You know,
right.
and it these days it's just not anymore. That's not the thing. So you need to have something else that people
It's beer and
beer plus.
and for us, the beer is important. Like there's some places that maybe walked away from that whole beer and thing and said like, well, it's just we're the local watering hole. It doesn't matter what.
Yeah.
And we're gonna sell more wine and cider than we're gonna sell beer, and we don't care that our name is brewery.
Right.
That's not ever gonna be us. Because if people don't want what I'm making, then that sort of kind of kills the whole idea
Right.
for me. But I think we're trying to make sure we can build around that idea of it's always beer but it's always still got to be beer.
Right.
Otherwise, we're not a brewery. We're just something else.
Right.
Well said.
Yep. Yeah, we've had a lot of great customers over the years who have helped us be here, who been here since the beginning, since day one. And so yeah, this week we will be celebrating a lot with so many different things. So getting
Starting
ready.
tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yep.
Yeah.
starting
So
Wednesday.
what's tomorrow's events? This won't be out for tomorrow. So we're talking about Wednesday, 10-2.
Okay,
There's
so
an 8-ounce Stein holder.
yes,
Yes.
yep. So when
Bring
There's
all
a
of
l-
your taster sample cups from every beer fest you've been to.
A Lego Stein holding contest.
Nice.
Yeah.
we will actually have a sign holding competition. So we are doing a sign holding competition. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is the qualifiers,
Qualifying.
and then the championship will be Saturday night. We have bocce tomorrow, and we have Italian cocktails. I think those are the three main things. Plus, we have a
Nice.
food truck, different food trucks every day.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday,
Is tomorrow, Chris?
nope,
Okay.
I can't think of what
Doesn't
everything is. Okay. Thursday, we have Run Club, which we always have our Run Club on Thursdays. We have Stein Holding. And then we have Yardsy, which is like giant Yahtzee. So we're going to leave the bocce court up. And then we have a bucket with they're 4x4x4 dice, basically.
Oh, wow.
And so you have a bucket and you roll these giant Yahtzee dice and you score it just like you play Yahtzee like you normally do. But
No kidding.
I say it's like Yahtzee, but you get a little workout doing it
Right.
because you have to pick things up and throw them. And
It's for the people who bocce is too hard.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. So
So throw buckets of dice.
that'll be Thursday. And then Friday we have...
And hopefully Bert and Amy from House of Books and Games will be here for that too.
Yes.
So.
Yep, they're going to be helping out with that one because they were the ones who introduced us to Yardsy.
And there are our game curators. They helped us. We have over 100, at least.
Yeah, your game collection
80,
has.
80-ish,
Many.
80 plus games over here.
Yep.
And when they bring extra games on their game nights, it's a lot.
It's a
But they've helped us get this really cool collection of games here. So it's not just like it's not just Connect 4 and Battleship and Uno, but those are the most used ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the most expensive game selection I've seen in a brewery.
Yeah, yeah.
It helps to have a game shop be
if you're
regular customers.
if you're serious into it, like there's all sorts of cool stuff, and we have to figure out a better way to get people to try new things because that's the game nights. We do game night every month, third Thursday of every month, to try to introduce people to new games.
Yeah.
Because there's just so many of them out there now, and they've got all sorts of cool games that they have here that people just won't play because they just don't know how to play them.
Right.
But if you're into games, we got a pretty great selection. If you're not, but you want to try, Third Thursdays.
Yep.
Check it out. And otherwise, Battleship and Uno and Connect 4 are waiting for you.
That's right. They're always here. Checkers.
Do you have the entire pack of the big black box?
Unmatched?
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Cards Against
Cards
Humanity.
Against Humanity?
We don't actually have Cards Against Humanity.
So
but
we
we
were
do
trying to
have-
be like somewhat responsible, but then we ended up getting something else that's really, really raunchy.
Ooh,
so
what
doesn't
is
matter.
it?
Jen's gonna have to find
I'll
it.
find it.
She heard raunchy and was like, "What is it?"
I love games.
Go ahead then.
$100 and vibrates? No,
It's less than that.
it's less. It vibrates, but it's less than that. I got it.
Yeah.
Game of Things.
But there's a bunch of fun games there that like people should play. One of our favorites is Clask, which is this that is somewhere near Norway game. Who made it? I don't know. Some sort of Scandinavian country. But it's these magnetic
Game boards in
things, and
Scandinavia?
it's very fun, and we'll show you how to play it if you ever want to come in and play it. But it's over here. We have a classic board. We've sold the most of those of any of the games. By the way, that's the other thing.
Someone
is that
stole it, Jen.
of all the games we have here, we have new versions of them here available for sale from them. So if you ever
Oh,
find
okay.
stuff that you like,
You could buy
we
it.
can sell it on their
If
behalf.
you're into class,
Nice.
you can get a brand new unopened box.
I recommend also the Trogdor game,
Quirkle. That's another good one.
which is
My eyes
crazy.
suck.
Oh yeah,
can see
Trogdor
beer.
for the Strong Bad fans out there. They made a Trogdor game. It's impossible
Oh
to
my
win.
God.
You cannot win, but if you're into Strong Bad, Homestar Runner, you are playing Trogdor, trying to burninate the countryside.
I think Brando's just going like, wait a minute, I was alive during
Yeah, I
that.
remember that. When he would just scream Trogdor.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a
Yeah.
game for that.
There's a whole song. Like you could play that
Yeah.
song on Rock Band
Yep.
Yeah.
Rock Band.
Strong
for the
bad.
kids back when that was a thing. Jeez.
Oh, I love Rock Band.
Yeah.
I still have, when Beatles Rock Band came out,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I had to have the whole set.
Yep.
Like I
Did
bought
you?
every single guitar accessory that
Yeah.
came with it. I had to have, if I'm going to play the Beatles, it's got to be authentic, man.
That's right.
We used to do that as like a New Year's tradition. We
It
used
was
to
our New Year's Eve
play
tradition.
Rock Band
Yep.
and most of the night,
Yeah.
and then all of our friends had kids.
And then you're right.
So I had
They're
kids
ruined
with
it.
Rock Band, and we
The
would
worst.
have Rock Band nights with the kids.
Oh, there you go.
And we would always do like random songs. So like it was always my favorite when like something like Du Hast would come on, and like the kids have no idea what that is, and
Yeah.
you know you got like Brian, and no clue. Beer,
Oh God, yeah.
Du Hast.
My kids had the Metallica one.
Oh
They
yeah.
always
yeah.
got low scores because you had to play the drums off.
Oh
Yeah.
jeez.
You and the Lars digs, man. Damn. Oh my god.
Poor
And
Lars.
you know what's funny? It's as soon as I see a TikTok and it says Metallica and it's from Brando, I already know what's gonna happen.
So look at me being
Giggle.
racist over here, being like, this guy's not into metal.
Oh, yeah.
And of course
Oh,
you
yeah.
are.
I'm-
He's
I
into
am.
everything.
Yeah, I'm into metal. I've
That's-
been into
that's
metal
on
for
me.
a long time too. It's not like
We've
it's
been
a-
on car rides, and I'm just like, you mind if I like take this over and I'll put something on, and he's over there like singing, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And you throw
Yeah.
on some Nickelback and
Oh, yeah.
singing.
Love Nickelback.
Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Oh wait, actually, there I have to draw the line. Nickelback,
Nickelback?
No,
Love Nickelback.
just
I do like Nickelback.
It's
they have some
It's
good
like-
guitar parts,
yeah.
but the music, I mean, the
It's-
singing.
You know what?
Look at this photograph.
Exactly. Exactly.
Nickelback.
Oh,
I like Nickelback.
So
every time I do it makes me laugh.
I guess, well, do we have to do a Creed vote here? Do we, yay, nay on Creed?
It depends on the song.
Yeah, depends on the song.
Depends on the song. You're
Guitarist
not
is
full.
really good.
Yeah, not full Creed fan. Got a couple hits.
I feel like Creed is like, they're probably good people who are just like, what? What did we do?
Why does
Yeah.
everybody hate us?
I mean, think about it. Poor Chad Kroger.
Yeah, Nickelback's the same way. It's
They like give more money to charity than everybody.
I know.
It's
How
like,
many times was he voted the ugliest man in music? I mean,
Jack Kroger?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But he's not.
lucky I'm not in the
He
running.
was. He
I don't know. I've seen some ugly motherfuckers out there.
he was when he had his long hair, and then he cut it. And I'm just, as a guy, it was much better
With a lube collection.
with a lube collection. Yep.
I'm just a guy with a lube collection. What do I
He had a
know?
fetish for colonoscopies.
Guy.
Non-robot.
Prefers the finger over the robot.
I do. Yep.
All right, so that's taken us a little bit further away from your fest.
Yeah, back to the fest.
I feel like we could
Festiversary.
put together a little When Harry Met Sally like soliloquy though with that same line right there. The, like,
I'm just a
guy with a lube collection, looking for a finger. Yeah,
It's not that bad.
it's just me. I'm just a guy.
Okay.
Anyway,
I know it's the wrong one, but yeah.
3, 2, 1.
And on Friday.
Friday, we continue the sign holding.
Yep.
Yes.
And we have trivia, and it's special themed trivia that's all things related to 5. So either like
5 or 5 years.
5. So either things that have happened in the last 5 years, or things maybe like movies that have 5 in them,
Okay.
or you know,
Like-
like things like that.
I'm going to take it back to Johnny Carson
Oh.
and say Lynn and Sean will win trivia.
Yeah, well, that's
It
a
depends if their friend comes.
Yeah, they have.
Oh, they
some,
do have a ringer.
They have some ringers on their team.
Oh, I
so,
know.
Yeah. So that will be, and there will be a little bit of Luppoleto trivia in there
Oh,
too. He's going to
there
do a
you go.
Luppoleto
I was just
category. there may
A
or may
little
not.
Lubboletto
There may be
trivia.
some lube in there.
Hey, you know what? That's not a bad beer.
Luppoleto.
No, it is a bad beer. So I don't know if you've noticed, we have the Kentucky Common just because there's so many letters in it. I have it up there as KY Common on the board as a style. And I debated, is it okay? Do I do that? And I was like, I'm just going to do it. And sometimes it might get some questions.
Why, Jen?
It's just KY.
That's right. Yeah.
It's short for
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Yeah. That's all. That's all it is.
Nothing
So,
to do with lube.
Nothing.
Nope.
To my chagrin.
Sorry. But
It's
yeah.
a social lubricant. A social lubricant.
Social lubricant.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's
Oh,
what
a
we're going
social
for.
lubricant sounds more like a ditty
The
party.
social lubricant.
I was going to say so does
No Diddy.
No Diddy on the social lubricant.
No Diddy.
Yep.
Those videos of like people saying something and you see like Diddy like start coming.
Oh, man.
I like those.
Yep.
All right, we've digressed again, Jen.
Yeah.
We're
It
so
happens.
sorry.
We,
Yeah,
you know,
so
there's
Friday,
a couple
it
beers in.
is
Free flowing conversation.
Someone in Will playing
That's Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday. So, well, let's get to Saturday first. So then Saturday is like the big main
day.
event. That's the Oktoberfest celebration.
Yep.
We will have a 5-piece brass oompa band playing.
Damn.
We'll have food. Fat City Kid food truck will be here, and he'll have special Oktoberfest themed food.
Nice.
We will have German pretzels with beer cheese.
Nice.
Like made by a German dude.
Yeah.
Who, when we
Oh.
asked him about making pretzels, he was like, can't in Germany.
Yeah, so but now he's back, so he can. But yeah,
Ah.
like his name is Uwe. Like he's
Oh,
German.
he's German,
legit
German.
German. So pretzels, and that's Saturday, I think. Oh, and the championship for the sign holding
Yes.
will take place that night.
That's when you'll roll out the 64-ounce steins.
That's right. The 64 ounce ones. Yes, exactly.
And I mean, we're hoping it should be a pretty good crew that day, like busy wise.
Yeah.
So if you're ever looking for that kind of like bustling
that's the night to
crowd
come.
day, that's
Yeah.
the night to come.
But if you don't want the bustling crowds, the other
Right.
nights will be calmer,
Yeah.
less.
More mild.
Yes,
If
more
you-
mild.
If you qualify during the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday
You got to come back Saturday to.
Right,
You have to come back
To defend your
yeah.
champion.
Yeah, the top 2 men and women from each of the qualifying rounds will get into the.
And if there's-
Done by time?
It is whoever can hold it the longest, essentially. So, like each night, the last 2 people holding
Yeah.
will get to advance. to
Each
the-
one is individual. So like if you held it for 30 seconds and you were the longest person on Wednesday, and the next person the next day held it for a minute,
Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter.
You'll be going up against
You're
them.
going to be going up against.
Yeah.
And are you doing like super straight and above the shoulder?
Yeah.
Straight
that
out,
thing.
90, like perpendicular to the table.
Oh,
so not above the shoulder,
oh.
so just like level like that. Yeah, straight out, 90-degree angle basically.
Also,
between your
shout
elbow.
out to the folks over at Dead Language because they're lending us the Stein.
They're Steins. They're 1 liter
wow.
Steins because we don't have
great guys.
1
Hold on,
liter
wait,
Steins
hold on,
here.
wait. Those Steins are heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So good luck,
Dry, they're
people.
heavy.
Yeah. So fill them with, and we'll be doing water, so nobody drops that much beer.
Yeah.
Thank
but
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But if you win,
You
you
get to
get that
drink.
filled with beer.
yeah, fill
Nice.
with beer. So that each night. Yep.
I just call that my normal drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. That's valid.
This might
Yeah.
That's my new normal.
Yeah. That's my new
32
normal.
ounces.
1 liter.
Number 34.
Yep. That was how it was in Germany. James was drinking liters everywhere in Germany, and I looked ridiculous holding a liter. It was like the size of my head.
Yeah. Jen's like half liter and like, okay.
Okay. Sit at your own table.
Yep. That was pretty much how it went. Yep.
The American wants a half liter.
Yep.
That was more Jamaican, but I like it.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, that happens. And then
Bumbalita.
Focus.
I am.
it's all good. No. And then Sunday we have live music every Sunday and pretty much every Sunday. And so this Sunday is 2 of our kind of regular Luppoleto musicians. So Jeremy Haddad, who is great and local, and then Will Gorey, who is like Windsor Locks
Yeah.
local.
Yep.
So the
Our
2 of
boy
them will be playing.
Friend of the show?
Yes, friend of the show.
So if she doesn't
Will
have
Gorey.
that baby, then he'll be here.
I mean, if she has a baby now, that's like super early,
Right.
and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like that
February.
would probably be a problem.
Actually,
And also
February?
Yeah, February.
super
yeah.
problematic because she's part of the brass band
True.
performing
She's
on
playing.
Saturday.
She's playing. She is one of the Oompas Saturday night, so she definitely needs to at least hold on to the baby for a little bit while
Okay.
after that. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Actually, I believe it was either the 23rd or the 25th. I can't remember. 'cause
wow,
it was,
he remembers
Wow,
like
that's
no,
weird.
because
due
it was
dates.
it was either before my birthday or after my birthday. But when he told
okay.
me, I had been drinking. So,
Okay.
but I know it was.
But you're in the
close.
right. You're in the right ballpark. It
Yeah.
is.
Shock,
It is
dismay.
end of February ish. So
Unbelievable.
anyway, so that's Sunday, and then that's basically it. I think Sundays.
I
are
mean,
more mellow.
so Sunday should be fun because I'm forcing Will and Jeremy to practice. Jeremy might practice, I don't know, but Will never does.
Right. Sounds accurate.
And so I'm making him learn some songs with Jeremy because I'm like, you guys are both great.
Yeah.
Oh, and James
And-
will be playing hand percussion for this
Probably.
little gig on Sunday too, or at least
Have
for some
you
part of
been
it.
practicing?
But that's not a promotion for it, Jen. I'm trying to get people here.
Just kidding. Strike that.
Yeah. 2 good musicians and James will be playing with us. Yeah, but they're really good, and we're trying to kind of cross-pollinate their audiences because, like, a lot of people don't know about Will who know about Jeremy and vice versa, and they need to know because they're both great local folks who need more eyeballs and earballs on
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. That's our week.
And I'm glad everybody let me say earballs without laughing.
No, that's a
Yeah,
thing.
no, we'll let it cook.
I don't.
Here we go.
So that rounds out the
The week
Festiversary.
festiversary.
Festiversary. Yeah, so this is our attempt to own the season, right? Like everybody has Oktoberfest, blah, blah, blah. But we had to make up our own word so that we
Yeah.
could advertise our own word and have our own word that we repeat every year.
Right.
Yeah.
That then people can like search on or whatever. So we do that a lot. We just make up words for fun.
Half our beer names are
Festiversary.
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 Yeah, so
I
it's
dig it.
Oktoberfest and anniversary.
Fest.
Just it's a neologism. Yeah.
Yes.
I like it.
Yeah.
So while we're talking about fest things, let's talk about the Festivus for the rest of us.
Festivus.
Because once upon a time last year, we did some magical
Oh.
things for the town of Windsor Locks.
Very good.
come the holiday times, we did the toy drive.
Yep.
Very awesome.
Operation Reindeer.
Operation Reindeer.
Yep. We adopted 3 families in town.
3 families, yeah.
And got the lists of what their families needed as
Yep.
far as wanted and needed as far as gifts go, and then had a little friendly competition.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't keep track. I don't know who
No,
won.
we all
The
crushed
town of
it.
Windsor.
The
Locks
town
Yeah.
of Windsor Locks
Yeah,
won,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
That
Brought
was
in
incredible.
So many gifts.
Yeah.
For these families.
Except the Disneyland. I don't think anyone could afford the Disneyland.
No,
Yeah,
no one.
that was true. That was-
Sorry, buddy, we couldn't get
I
you there.
remember that.
You know,
one of the items.
That was a
of the
big
trip-
ask, and I actually thought for a second that we have a guy who works for us who's kind of connected to Disney, and I thought he might have been sort of contemplating something.
I'm sure he
Oh, wow.
was, but,
But,
yeah, it's still a bit much.
But yeah, but for that many people, it's a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
But look, hopefully we made it so that they had excess resources so they could do that themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Because like all the gifts they asked for, people brought in. It was incredible.
Yeah, and more. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you when I was still working in Windsor Locks that one of the families were in my school.
Oh yeah.
And I can tell you, asking them about their holidays had a completely different meaning for me that year. And listening to them discuss that, and one of the items, which I thought was an insane item, it wasn't the Disneyland, but it was
Yeah.
still a pretty insane item. And someone brought that in, John Silliman.
There you go.
John brought that gift in, and that was like the highlight of this kid's like life.
Nice.
And to hear him talk about using that and it was what we did was amazing.
Yes.
And if
It
we
was.
can duplicate that again this
Yeah,
year,
that'd be awesome.
I don't know. I mean, we did an amazing job last year.
Yep.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, our customers are crazy, generous people,
Yeah.
and we're very lucky to have them. We just kind of made a place where a lot of these people like to hang out. We're just fortunate to have a place where we created a spot that resonates with a lot of people who are very generous and want to help people in need. I think some of that had to do with the timing when we first started, and it was COVID times. People seemed to be a little bit more aware of people in need.
Yeah.
Or just sensitive to that subject.
Yeah.
And then I think whatever we did in the meantime, we seem to keep that kind of people around.
That's good.
And so I think whenever we tried to do something that was outreach oriented, or we're just still trying to be a vessel for the community to give back, because that's sort of part of our mission here is to be connected to the community we're in and then give back to the community
Yeah.
we're in. And I think the people here, I mean, they've been amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Brought in so many
So
toys.
am I hearing maybe Operation Reindeer Take 2?
2.0.
Part two.
Part two.
Part two.
Electric
This time.
Boogaloo.
Oh,
Yeah. Ooh, Electric Boogaloo. I dig it.
I'm
Yeah.
ozone.
Yep.
No.
You can be turbo.
But yeah, no, I think
We'll definitely do it again.
we'll definitely do it
Definitely.
again, and yeah, it's looking like it's going to push earlier this year, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
because of the timing of Thanksgiving and Christmas and everything this year where they fall, it looks like we'll probably
it's-
kick it off the week of Thanksgiving, and then wrap it up a couple weeks in second weekend in
Yeah.
December, so that there's plenty of time to gather the gifts and get them to
Yeah,
social
yeah.
services so they can get them to the families in time for Christmas. So we will definitely get
Awesome.
that going. And yeah, the way it worked was like each family we had little cards with an item for each family. So you could pick a card that you wanted to give, and then
Yep.
that was your item. So it was, you didn't have to guess. They
Yeah.
gave us lists of what the kids liked, what they were into, what their favorite colors were, characters, all that kind of stuff. So
Yep.
you could find something that
Well,
they were.
and I think
liked.
that's really great because you don't end up with like, it's got to suck when you don't have the money to get what you want, and then also just somebody gives you something, you're like, you're supposed to be appreciative of it.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. This is a neat way to to let people express what they're looking for so that they're not going to be as disappointed or feel
Right.
like second
Right.
tier citizens when they
Right.
get gifts.
Yep.
You know, and it also gives people an opportunity to pick a person that they're passionate about. Right? We had some people who had connections to people who are autistic. One of the children last year had that as a situation that they were dealing with, and they were looking for toys specifically for people
For communication, I remember
for
that.
communication.
Yep.
And there were some people who that like resonated with as I want to help with that because I understand that from some personal experience in their lives, and it gives them another connection to this. I think it was a neat
Yeah.
way of doing it.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a
And
good
if
time.
we can do half as well as we did last year,
Oh, yeah.
this year, we
Yeah, it was.
still nailed it. Like we could have adopted 10 families with
With this.
generosity
Yeah.
of everyone
Yeah.
last
Yeah,
year.
for sure.
Like to say that the people who come here are supportive and community is an understatement.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean,
It was great.
just go onto Facebook or Instagram and look back to last year,
Last
to
year,
Lupoleto's
yeah.
pictures. I mean,
Yeah.
it was
Piles and
unbelievable.
piles.
Like this stuff almost didn't fit in the truck.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
literally, I think I had like a box on my
Well,
lap. Like,
it almost
piled
didn't
up. It didn't
fit in the
corner.
brewery.
Yeah. We set aside this spot and it was like, oh, it's way overgrown.
Yeah.
This spot. Yeah.
So it's special. The people here are special for sure. And yeah, whatever we can do to help, that's what we're about.
Yep. For sure.
Well, on behalf of those families and a Windsor Locks alum, thank you, because it means a lot to me to be able to give back to those families here in town as well.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I'll be selfish and say it just felt really good.
Yeah,
It really
for real.
felt good.
It did
No,
feel
it
good.
did. It even
Yeah.
brought, like, just to see our family and friends come out that don't normally come out.
Sure.
To come out and support that here because, they have ties to Windsor Locks, they have ties to us. It was just the cause that brought them out, whatever it was. But even seeing some of our, people coming out to support this, you're right. It doesn't. We lost sight of. It started out as a friendly competition, but by it didn't matter anymore
Right.
because it was the community that was winning, hands down.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
And
they
it was
did a
because
really
of the
good job.
community,
Yeah.
Yep.
people helping people.
Yep.
That's it. I mean, I think one of the things that we really appreciate about here is we have a lot of people here who connect with other people here. They're not coming here for us.
Yeah.
At some point, they're coming here because this is a meeting place, right? And like that's when we win. I think the most is when we create just this engine that spins when we're not here. Of people who we know who didn't know each other before who are now friends,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's what that really means to be part of the community. And we tried to do that, and so it's cool to see that it did take.
Come to fruition. Yeah.
Yep.
But I think it was more luck than anything else that we just happened to resonate with the right people.
Well, you're good people. You did good things, and
Maybe a little bit of that.
don't sell yourself short. Don't sell yourself short. You guys are.
I
pretty
think-
You know what he's going to say is he's just a guy. Like he's just doing what he thinks, and if you can emulate just a little bit of what your great grandmother did, like I
Right.
think part of that is driven in this too.
That's the essence of it. The essence of it is the if nobody knows who I am, but they still enjoy it here because there's something special, that's a win. Like
Yeah.
I don't have ego attached to that. I want to be the person standing in the back who nobody sees, not in a creepy way,
No diddy.
not in the shadows, but just like in the back seeing this. Like I have memories over the last couple of years of sitting back and seeing a room full of people connecting, enjoying each other's company, and it's and a special connection that's like, this is why we did this.
Yeah.
And you can't explain that until you're part of it and you did it. And again, I don't want to take like credit for it because we tried to do it, but it happened organically.
Yeah.
And it's just so satisfying to look out on that
Yeah.
and see people enjoying themselves in your place. There's just nothing like it. In every single challenge we faced, you have to compare them all to those moments that you look out and, I mean, I walked in the back a couple times because I was getting choked up looking out, and just I was experiencing the fact that we had a house full of people who were enjoying themselves because of something that was in our head, and we made it happen. And I think too often we get bogged down in the details. Like, we're 5 years in, you're kind of going, it's a difficult time in this industry right now. A lot of closing businesses, a lot of people turning away from drinking for health reasons. Jen turning away from drinking because she hits the mic all the time.
Sorry.
And I think the thing that we've been trying to think about is how do we communicate that there is such thing as healthy drinking. In that, I mean, going out and spending time with people. Like, beer is the icebreaker.
Yes.
Right? It's the start of the conversation. It's not the purpose of all of this. We're trying to get people to come out and be together. And especially if you live through COVID times, you want to come out here. Like, it's so important to spend time with people.
No, it is.
And I think we have a gap, generationally, a gap where there's people who have a lot of concerns and anxiety around that. And I think it's bad.
Yep.
And it's not about, I mean, and I don't care if you want to come out and drink an NA beer, we have those. Come out and do that, but come out. And spend time with other human beings here. Like, that's the magic. That's what we created here. That is important.
And it's a special vibe, though, because I'm going to say anyone can go out anywhere. Like, you can go to the clubs. You can go to, a restaurant. You can go anywhere. But when you come to a brewery, especially those, and I'm going to say that respect the old style of breweries, whether it's Czech, whether it's German, whether it's Italy, where it's the socialization. It's the siesta. It's it's about getting together, and whether you're drinking or not, it's about talking to each other. It's about helping each other. And whether you have, even when Legitimus had started that, and I think actually you guys did something like that too, the farmers market, where you guys, the community, something like that, where people are getting that farm fresh food and they're learning about someone else and they're having those conversations. The connections you make, that is what's missing in this world, is the community. And you guys, Chris at Dead Language, where you guys are nailing that, even problem solved, going into those small towns and small communities where, you may see someone but you might not, but you're still going to leave there talking to someone and making some sort of connection. And that's what the purpose of, all of those Czech, pubs and those, that's what it's all about, is community. It's not about, beer is a bonus.
In Germany, every day, when we were there at the beginning of the week, right? And every place was packed. With people after work. They came and they got together for a drink. And the people who are going, oh, health concerns, oh, alcoholism. Okay, so those are concerns, those are things. But this is not what that was. This was people connecting with each other at the end of the day, at the end of the workday. And when it's a thing that you do every day, you're not going there and going, I'm going to have 50 beers.
Right.
You're having to and going home, and you're having a great time when you're there and talking to your friends.
Beer was just the thing you drank when you were at the meeting place.
Right.
Like wine. And it's whatever.
In Italy, most of the wine that is drunk in small towns is not high alcohol wine. It is something
Most
that
table wine.
And it's about community. And that's what all this is about. I think people are getting it twisted. I think it's getting caught up in the whole binge drinking thing, which happens at college,
Yeah.
right? Which, like, that happens. It's not great. Some bad things happen around that. It's a different problem than what we have here. You can't have people who are making decisions about that, making decisions about what we should do in breweries in the United States. Because if you do,
Correct.
Very true.
they're all going to shut down.
Yeah.
And you're missing the true essence of what a brewery and its purpose is.
Beer was the drink of moderation in balance to things like gin and other things that people were drinking in excess to forget, to isolate. They were sitting at a bar by themselves and they didn't want to talk to anybody. We have communal tables, we have no bar. We want you to connect to other people.
Yeah.
We're here so that you're going to sit down across from somebody you don't know and talk
Play
to
a
them.
game.
And play a game.
And talk.
Yep.
So, like, it's a different animal, and you cannot just lump it all into the same thing.
Agreed.
You have my vote.
That's
What I've been saying for years.
I tell my wife I used to tell her all the time. Now she understands. It's this past year she's fully understands why I go to breweries, why I can hang out at a brewery all night and just hang out and have fun and just talk to random people. Don't know nobody there, but I'm talking to people. And it's just because, yes, we're all here having a drink. We all came to enjoy a particular beer from the brewery, but that's just the starting point of the journey.
Always a starting
You know?
point, yeah.
That's all it is.
And I think until you understand that, you don't get this industry.
True.
And anybody who's trying to do something different is missing the boat.
I've never gone to a brewery looking to power drink, throw back shots, and get hammered.
Right.
No.
That's not my.
No.
No.
That's not what I go to a brewery for. I go to a brewery to have a beer or two, talk to people. That's my favorite thing. Like before I even met these guys, my husband and I would go out for what I called brew ventures, and we would pick a brewery, and we'd find a restaurant in that same town. We'd find something like, what's this town famous for?
Sure.
There has to be some sort of site, like there, whether it's a statue
Some
or
historical
whatever,
something, yeah.
and we would find something to connect to that community.
Yeah.
And that's how I got into beer, because at that point there was 130 breweries, 140 breweries in the state of Connecticut. And blink and there's one more that opened up and closed at the same time. But, and it was fun. It got us out to other areas of the state that maybe I wouldn't normally travel to. What was that brewery we went to that we can't even pronounce the name of? The town that it was in.
Taylorbrook.
No,
Not
not
Taylorbrook.
Three
pronounce
Ravens?
Taylor.
Ravens.
Three Ravens?
Three Ravens. It's in some chicka boom bam
Yeah.
town. That's the name of the town.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, that's the name of the
Okay.
town.
The name I think is like SUNY.
All right.
We would have
We would have never.
No.
If it wasn't for, if it wasn't,
been to that
If it wasn't
town.
for saying, hey, there's a brewery that opened up in this town that we've never heard of.
Yeah.
Let's go check it out.
And we all joked about this town's not even real.
Yeah, it was
It's
like,
not
this is
even
not
a
a
real
real
town. But that's the beauty of breweries.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, that's our. When we travel, it's like, okay, we're gonna go to this place. We're gonna find where do you eat and drink,
Yeah.
and then
yeah.
Oh, I guess we'll do some other stuff.
When we first started our journey here, it was actually through the wine trail
True.
because there was only like 12 of them.
Wineries.
Yeah.
At the
And,
time.
Yeah.
and it was just
Yeah.
a way to see the state. Like,
Yeah.
it was a way to go like, hey, we got nothing going on. Those
Yeah,
days, I
those
wish.
days.
for again. But no, it was we got nothing going on. Let's go to 3 or 4 wineries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out in that random
and-
eastern part of the state,
And
or
then like
western
stop
part of the state you
somewhere
never
we
go.
don't know for dinner. And I think that's one of the things that is also problematic in the current culture is people who are afraid of making a mistake.
Yeah.
There's people who don't want to come here. Look, we're in a plaza. I get it. It's a downer. I'm not happy about it. It's a starter apartment, okay?
yeah.
Like, it's what we could afford. It's where we had to, it's our first apartment. So, but once you come inside, it's different.
Yeah.
So just give it a chance is my first thing. But other than that, I get it I get that you don't want to take a chance on some place that your friends don't think is cool. But, like, go make your own fucking opinion. Like, try something. Be afraid. Yeah. Don't be afraid to be wrong about something. Like, try it. If you like it, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Very true.
For you, you're right. And you're just in a certain phase. You're not always going to like that same thing, but you might like something different later. But try it, like it, be confident enough to say, hey, come check this out. I liked it. Everybody's so afraid. We had people who were really big fans of ours who would go onto social media and say, it's okay, you should maybe check it out. Like, these are people who, to our face, said you make some of the best beers in the state.
Yeah.
But to their friends, they were so scared. What are you afraid of? Who cares? The stakes couldn't be lower.
Yeah.
Come in here, try anything on the menu. We're going to be welcoming. We're not going to judge you. We're not going to be mad at you. And if you don't like anything here, we're going to tell you where you should go based on what you said. Because we're going to give you advice as to what, like, hey, this was not sweet enough for you. I got a place for you. This was, to this much in this way. Well, we got a place for you.
Yeah.
But just try. The stakes could not be lower. What are you so afraid of? Don't be embarrassed. Stop it. Like, just drink for you. Go out and go, I like this. Cool. You're right. You're right for you.
Yeah.
And we need to, like, embrace that. It really bothers me about people who just ask permission to like things. Why? Why are you doing this? Like, you don't have to have 3 people sign off on your favorite thing because then you can prove you're right. No. If you like it, you like it.
And you're right because
you know
yourself.
And you're right for now. You have to just be open to that changing. Because it will. Like, I don't like the same things I liked 3 years ago or 5 years ago.
Very true.
But it's okay. It's okay to change your mind. This is another important thing. It's okay to change your mind, people. And you're not wrong for liking things. Stop thinking that. Just come places, try things, have experiences.
James, I'm going to say the first time I met you, and I don't like bringing this up for my own self because, but the first time I met you, I met these guys here, and whatever beer I got, was not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
You didn't like it, yeah.
It was not my beer. And you looked at me from across and you said, what don't you like? Let me get you something else. And I was like, no, I'll drink this. And you're like, I don't want you drinking something you don't like. I'm getting you something you want. What do you like? And you asked me a ton of questions, and you came back with this concoction that you had made. It was like a beer and a cider, and I can't even remember the details of it.
Yep.
But what I remember is that you took the time to ask me what I liked, what I wanted, to make me something that I would leave here feeling like I got what I wanted and I enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
And that is something that spoke volumes to me because, number one, I didn't know who you were. And, I didn't know I was insulting the guy who made the fucking beer.
Not insulting, never insulting.
And,
it's always learning.
So, I felt like an ass, but at the same time, I've never felt more welcome, if that makes sense.
And you got a drink that you like.
And you took the time to get to know me and make me something that you thought I would like better. And I was sold after that because you didn't get insulted. You took it as, okay, so I don't make something that she doesn't like everything. Right.
Yeah.
And you took the time to make something to make an impression on me. And that's what you guys offer here is that, even though Noni would not have made you a separate dinner, she would have told you to shut your mouth and eat what's on the table.
Yeah.
But you took that one step further in that hospitality to say, I want to make you something that you're going to enjoy. And you did that.
Yeah. I think that's
that was cool.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that we've always tried to do. Like, I know, especially in the craft beer market, you get the snobbery that comes with it. It's sort of a common theme.
Yeah.
Whether it's real or not, it's felt.
Some places.
Yeah, exactly. And so we are all, we get people who walk in and I drink Coors. I'm like, great. Try the Pilsner. Try the Kolsch.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy it. We never come across well, we'll have something for it. You know, like it's like I get it. Not
Yeah.
everybody's
Right.
into craft
We're
beer.
craft, sir.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's fine. You know, or I don't really drink beer. Okay, what do you drink? I bet I can get you a flavor that's similar. I drink bourbon. Okay, great. Try this maltier beer. You might like that, or try one of our cocktails or whatever. And I think we try to recognize that.
We
It's not-
exist for you to find something you enjoy.
Right.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with ego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I recognize too that people are going to come in, they're not going to find something they enjoy because we
It's
don't
possible,
have
very possible.
we tend to be a little less sweet in general. Our cocktails, our beers, everything, our wines, we tend to be a little less sweet. So if you're somebody who likes sweet stuff,
Because you guys are sweet enough.
we are sweet enough for you.
Jen with the microphone hit again.
But ding, ding.
I'm not the Italian
For
one,
emphasis.
but I gesticulate.
Are
like
you
an
sure?
Italian. I know, right? But yeah, so I don't know. I just think that's a thing that we've always tried to do is just say
But and that's part of the reason
you're
that
welcome whether or not you are a beer head. Like it's
It's part of the reason we don't do flights. So, the thing about flights is they are a guided tasting without a pilot.
Yeah.
So you walk up, you pick 4 things that you think you might not hate, because you don't really want to make a decision. That's the most cynical interpretation of what you're doing, but it's pretty accurate. And then
I
you
like
sit
that
down,
analogy.
and then you go, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. I like that one a little bit. Let's go to the next place. That is never going to win us a customer. Ever. But if we make you stand up at the bar and say, I didn't like this, can I try something else? Then we can guide you.
to help you find the thing that you
Yeah.
are going to enjoy.
And then you're going to leave having, hopefully, had a half or a full pour of something you enjoyed. And now we have you thinking about something you liked when
Yeah.
you left here. Okay? And a lot of other people are going, it's easy. We just pour a couple of beers into a flight thing and people just take them and they go and it's fine. No. That's not what we're here for. We're here to make you find what you might like the most on our menu.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be a very good guesser if you just come in here and just pick stuff.
I feel like flights are a burden on breweries.
I mean, they're a ton of work too.
Time consuming.
A lot of
and-
glassware, a lot
yeah.
of time pouring.
But it became a thing, and,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
a very bad thing. And people for a while were kind of angry about it. Now we're kind of among.
There's more and more places that
Yeah.
don't do it.
Majority.
Yeah.
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 But I'm not sure everybody's doing it for the same reason we are. But
You were the first to so eloquently explain why you
Yeah,
don't.
why you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
I-
the glassware is part of it too, because we
Well,
can't wash all our
I've
glasses.
I've said it
but,
before.
yeah.
I like the cut of your jib, sir.
No, I think it's all at this point in the game we have to be intentional about what we're doing and win or lose on the merits of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And if people want what we're doing, great. If they don't, fine. But that is the ship we will sink or swim on, and
And we said early on, like, we're not going to do flights, but we do have half pints. So you're committing
Yeah.
to 8 ounces of it.
Right.
It's not a huge
and we
quantity.
and we also
A whole stein.
and we also
Plastic stein.
we also give you free samples. So like it's actually better than flights because if you want to just try a few things, you can.
Yeah.
And again, the stakes couldn't be lower because we want them to be low. Because we
Yeah.
want you to find something you like.
Yeah.
That's what's most important. It's not most important that you check us off some list. I don't want that.
Well,
Or a passport.
yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, when I heard you guys were opening in Dexter Plaza as a Windsor Loxian, I will say,
Right.
why?
Yeah.
Nothing has ever succeeded in Dexter frickin' Plaza.
AutoZone.
Kudos to you guys. Yeah, AutoZone.
They're popping.
The pizza place, but you guys have definitely lasted, and I think you guys have made an impression and an imprint. And it may not be just Windsor Locks people coming in and out, but it's a community, which is what you set out for
Yeah.
to begin with.
Yeah.
Which I think is the best thing about, for me, craft beer in general when it's done right. It's a very good community that's very welcoming.
Yep.
and everybody can enjoy it if they want to.
Yep.
Yeah.
And shout out to Will Gorey, who plays his music here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out Will Gorey.
Shout out Will.
I didn't know he was a native Windsor Locks person.
is.
Yeah.
I was shocked and dismayed when he told me such.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
His
Born
family's
and-
been here for
born
a
and
while.
raised,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I got the whole history, and I'm like,
Uh,
never heard of you.
I forgot.
how long did the history take?
They were all homeschooled.
Right.
Yeah.
So if they didn't
all
go through the
homeschooled,
school
yeah.
system,
Right.
you don't know him as well. But yeah.
Well, it was in an age group, too, that, like, I was way
Big gap.
older.
Yeah. Yep. But
Yes, I called myself old again. It's like the 15th time. Shut up. You're not that much younger than me, douche.
Hey, still younger.
all this too is that like we just don't take ourselves too seriously, right? Like it's just beer.
Yeah.
And I'm not out here going like I'm making the best beer on the planet. No, I'm making stuff that I like that I can be proud of. And I have my own standards, and they're not the same as everybody else, and they shouldn't be. It's just different.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like if other people want to put Oreos in their beer, I'm not mad at you. That's just not what I'm doing. But
I mean, can we put some cannoli in it? It's Italian.
okay, so I'll give you cannoli flavors, but not cannolis.
I'm
right?
good with that. I'm good with that.
Also, that's why we really push the cocktail program. So, like, part of the reasoning for that is I don't want to make a beer that tastes like a margarita when I can just make you a really damn good margarita.
Yeah.
Like, if that's what you want, I'm going to give you that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not that's not the best version of beer, in my opinion. Tequila does it better. So, like, if you want those flavors, I'll give you those flavors. I also am somebody who's looking to try to find some partners to bring in some more food stuffs that we can be like, let's pair this really tasty thing with a beer that has complementary flavors, because most of what's good about dessert is the flavors and the texture.
Yep.
Right? And if you're not eating it, you're not getting texture. You're just
Right.
getting, like, I don't want liquefied cake. Right? I want to be able to taste the texture of the cake. Like, I don't want cannoli with no shell. I want the shell there. Like, the snap of the shell is important.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so if you want to have those things and those experiences, then cool, let's do that. But let's do that as a pairing, not as the product. I don't want liquefied version. If somebody said, I'm going to make you all your favorite desserts, but I'm just going to put them in a blender and then serve them to you, you'd be grossed out. But that's what craft beer has been for the last 10 years. That's what they've been doing.
My
Yeah.
inner fat kid saying, "Can I have both, please?"
At the same time.
I mean, and I'm not.
And the inner lush in me is saying, no, I'll drink it. I'll drink the shit out of it. Just put it in front of me with booze. I'll drink that.
And I'm not
Nom,
mad.
nom, nom.
I'm not mad at you people who are saying yes to those things.
I don't drink that crap,
I'm
though.
just saying I don't think that's the best of what beer has to offer. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
what the best of beer has to offer is the coffee to your cake, right? The espresso to your tiramisu, right? Like, if you're having that thing next to it, how can I complement it? How can I make that experience better?
Yeah.
And I think the dessert's the best version of the dessert. I don't think the beer needs to be the dessert.
So margarita Mexican lager for Cinco de Mayo is out.
I mean, I'll put lime in it. But
That's fair.
Yep.
My favorite way. Anyway.
but I think that's, you know, again, but it goes back to the, like, I'm not mad at anybody doing that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that
That's
there's
just not your.
it's just not me, but that's why there's so many breweries, because everybody
Right.
can do their own thing. Like,
Yeah.
and we love that, and we celebrate that.
Yeah.
And that's what works about this industry is, like, you don't like what we're doing, go up the street, you might find something you like better, and I'm fine with doing that.
And that's what's unique about breweries, too,
Yeah.
is that breweries will send you to other breweries.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
if you're in some dive bar, they're not sending you to another dive bar.
No,
Right.
they're not.
Like, if
Right.
you're at a different restaurant, they're not sending you. If you're at a seafood restaurant, they're not sending you to a different seafood restaurant.
Right.
Breweries support each other out of respect for beer. And,
Yeah.
and that's a
and
cool
also
and unique thing.
understanding of the diversity of it. Like, if my sensibility is not the same as everybody else's.
Yeah.
Right? But we also have a flag on the wall that says we do this not because it's easy, but because we thought it was easy. Right? Like, we don't take ourselves too seriously either. It's just fucking beer.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's just beer. And And so like I'm not going to
It's
be
supposed
like,
to be
oh,
fun.
we didn't serve that one correctly, or this one doesn't meet this requirement. Like, look, if you get a dirty glass, I'm going to be mad about that, and I'm going to be upset.
Break
Sure,
the
good.
glass.
Yeah.
Yes.
and fix
Pour you
that,
a new one. And,
fix
yeah.
that issue. But like at the end of the day, I want you to have a good experience here, and I'm not gonna be like, you didn't get the right amount of foam to beer ratio, and it's not that. I like to give you the best experience we can, but
If you're enjoying it, that's what's most important.
yes.
Yeah.
And I think you can have the situation where this like
The perfect is
The-
the enemy of the good.
the stigma around the
Wow.
That's a
Yeah.
good saying.
I stole that from him.
I like
Well,
that.
it's not
Listen,
for
when
me,
I
it's
call
from-
you guys the dynamic duo, man, like
Yeah,
Jesus,
for real.
what a power couple we are in front of right here.
But it's a problem that people experience in this industry where they're too precious with some things, right? Like, and we try to give you the best experience, but if somebody gets a cup and they go like, "Why is there so much foam in this?" Well, I hope we've equipped the people who work here to tell you the answer to that.
Yeah.
But if you're really mad about it, I'm not going to pour you one that doesn't have any foam.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you why we don't do it that way, and I'm going to tell you you can go somewhere else where you can find it.
Yeah.
But like that's not me being cocky. That's me just saying like this is the product. Like you don't order lasagna and say I want the sauce on the side. Like not doing that. You know,
Possible.
right? Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but that's what they're asking you to do. They're like, take this thing and remove it
Yeah.
from the core experience of what it's supposed to be.
Right.
And that's like when they go out and they order drinks and they are like, can I have no ice in a triple shot, but charge me like it's not, or I can't taste the vodka in this. Top it off. There's an ounce of vodka in that.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, for real.
an appropriate amount of vodka in that. Well, then can I get a double?
Sure, I'll charge you for a double, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that's the problem, right? Is that everybody thinks that they have complete control over these things, and it's like, no, I am offering you a product, and it looks an awful lot like it's a flexible product, but it isn't.
Yeah.
I'm offering you one. I'm offering you this beer with 2 fingers of foam on top. That's what we do here.
How about you breathe in them aromatics from that foam
Yeah.
and shut the
Yeah.
fuck up?
And just wait a couple seconds.
Please.
Also,
Please.
how about you think about the fact that we serve more beer per dollar than pretty much any brewery in Connecticut.
Facts.
Yeah.
But you still have the audacity to complain about the fact that it has foam on the top and can I top it off? No.
Yeah.
This is a sensitive subject, by
It
the
is.
way. If you hadn't picked up on that.
But our average service size here is we're serving half liter plus of
Yes.
pretty much every beer that
Yeah,
we
yeah,
serve
yeah.
here, and everybody else is serving 16, 12, 11, 10 ounces for the
Right.
same prices that we're charging, or even more.
More like 15.5 because most people's pint glasses are not.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So all of our glasses are sized appropriately, and we have room for foam. And they've got lines on them that say 500 milliliters, but
Yeah.
people don't know what milliliters are. So then we have to do this. So
This is America, sir.
America, who 30 years ago passed a bill saying we were going to switch everything over to the metric system, but
Yeah,
still
sure.
hasn't
Yeah,
done it.
sure.
Or maybe it's more than that
Yeah.
I understand the MLs.
But
Yeah, you went to school to understand that. Most people did not go to school.
the bottom line
Hard
is
stop.
the bottom line is this.
Just at all.
It's just that we're trying to give people a good experience and a version of our experience that is what we've set out to do. And I think in the same way that they respect a restaurant for not being like, can you take the sauce off the pizza after you've cooked it? Like, I can't do that with the foam. It's like,
Yeah.
that's part of the experience. So, if you want that kind of thing, come here. If you don't. And I'm okay with that. But also give it a shot if you've never done
Yeah.
it.
No, you have to.
Because like it's an important part. It's an important part of the places that have been doing this for a very, very long time have a very strong affinity towards making sure your beer has foam on top of it.
Yeah.
Like
2 fingers.
the people.
How are we back on that again?
Yeah, 2 fingers.
I only like one. But he's not going to do it that way, so I guess I'll go somewhere else. Huh? No.
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 You need the 2
Where do the
fingers,
other ones go?
Okay.
no thumbs. Okay. No, but like there's beer culture. So like it's very humbling. You go to these countries where they've got breweries that have like established 1300 something right on the door.
I couldn't even imagine.
And we're over here like 2019. Woo!
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I think the oldest brewery I've been to was that one that we went to in Maine.
Gary.
Dale's?
Gary.
Okay.
I think that's the oldest brewery I've ever been to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we went to
we-
Ondex.
That can't
It's definitely
be.
like 1100 or 1300.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
So
a
it's a
monastery.
monastery.
They
It's
win.
like
Yeah.
it's insane.
Yeah, Gary's the oldest one I've ever been to.
Yeah.
And what was that? 80?
83 or 84? They're 2 years before
Sam Adams.
Sam Adams. Which
Sierra
Sam Adams-
Nevada's got to be like 81, something like that, right? To like the 30 years.
I think they're 81. Yeah, I think they're.
Um,
Sounds right.
but like, you look at these places that are hundreds of years old and
Yeah.
that have this deep, rich beer culture, and there wouldn't be people sticking their fingers in the beer to be like, "There's too much foam in here.
Oh,
this
God,
foam
no.
needs to go away." Like, get your finger out of my glass, man. But
I'm sorry, was that glass or ass?
Glass.
it was glass.
Okay.
It was glass. Yes, yes.
Brando, do you have an opinion on this?
It was a G. Glass.
Good.
But
Good golly.
but fine. But again, at the end of the day, like I said, it's beer. It's fun. If you
Yeah.
want what we have to offer, cool. If you don't, cool. I'm not mad at you. It's just what we're doing here.
Just take my phone.
Yeah. Well,
Take
and
my finger phone.
I had a friend who said like he wanted to start a restaurant called No SOS. So in kitchen,
No
speak,
shit on the side.
sauce on side.
Sauce.
Yeah.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Yeah.
So basically, it was how the chef makes it is how the chef makes
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to come here and get how the chef makes it, you get it.
Yeah.
If you don't, you don't, and that's okay.
For real.
But that's what we have to offer. So like to that extent, yeah, I'm stuck in my ways.
SOS.
You know, it's
No
funny.
sauce
I've
inside.
never been that guy where I want to. Yeah, I'll take this, except I don't want that, and sauce on the side.
And that's why we're friends. But
It's like no. It's like when I come, I would get I get worried if I go to a brewery and there's no foam.
Yeah.
I get worried. It's like
Well-
okay, especially unless it's like pastry sour, which is not gonna have.
Yeah,
any.
like if it's a sour, you're not going to.
Plenty of places nearby they can get foamless beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not
Yes.
one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
But it's like, shit. I order a Budweiser. I want foam.
Yep.
There should be some fucking head
Yeah.
tension on that thing.
Well, I actually find myself getting angry when there's no head on the beer.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because there's something
pour it
wrong.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Also,
they
Yeah, you
didn't
didn't-
pour
yeah.
it right. The
You can't
refrigeration
pour
is
it.
off.
If they pour it with beer
Right.
to the rim,
Yeah.
you can't walk.
Walk.
The
Right.
foam is a much more stable
It-
thing, and it'll keep you from spilling it.
I get upset when I pour a beer at home and I fuck it up, and it's like, fuck. It's like I got like no head. It's like,
Yep.
Or you
See,
get
I
this.
give.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I was
Yeah,
going
I
to say I
usually
have
get
the opposite
also.
problem.
Yeah.
I give too much head. I heard it after I
Phrasing.
said it. I heard it after I said it. I can't even look the other way. Usually I mean jokes like that. That's how you know I did not mean it, because I can't even turn around. All right, I'm going to try to turn around. I don't know that I can look at people, though.
I
Hold
don't
on.
recommend it.
Am I blushing? I actually think I'm blushing.
Yes,
This is going to be a fun edit session.
Oh my God.
No, that one has to stay
Yeah,
in.
that's staying in. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that's staying in. Anything that makes Lisa look stupid is definitely staying in.
That was just like classic.
But you know what?
Yeah, just like-
Usually I say shit like that and I mean it and it was intentional. That was completely unintentional.
And that's what makes it awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll own it now. I still
go.
can't make eye contact with the guys.
He's gymming the camera right now. Yeah.
Oops.
Just zoom in on those cheeks.
Which ones now?
Oh man.
Damn
Yeah,
kitty.
it's hot in here.
Is it? Is it warm?
It probably is actually. But, yeah.
No. I think it's just me and my
See, I've
embarrassment.
never fucked up like that. That's fun.
That's cat.
But you know what? That was so on brand, yet unintentional. It was,
It's just natural. It
yeah.
was organic.
Au natural.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. Let's,
Oh man.
1, 2, 3. Here we go.
Oh no, you don't get to decide.
You got some wrapping up thoughts, Jen?
Yes, Jen. What is your
Wrapping up thoughts?
wrapped up thought? of
I
this
mean, I don't
session?
know. I'm just throwing that out there.
Thanks.
Let's say next year. Let's wrap up with what are your hopes for the coming year after this festiversary
Oh, boy.
to accomplish
and
before the
dreams.
next festiversary?
More foam, more head.
More foam.
Jesus, I
Never
was
too much
hoping.
head.
Yep, never.
Yeah.
Atta girl.
I think the big thing we're doing is trying to focus on expanding new location. That's kind of our focus for the new year. So, to James' earlier point, Dexter Plaza was never the long-term dream
Yeah.
for Luppoleto Brewing. It's been lots of great things from here.
Yeah.
It's, in a lot of
Absolutely.
ways, it was a good spot for us.
You
It was
learn how
what we
to
needed.
survive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
That's what Windsor Locks does for you.
Yeah.
yes.
It preps you.
That's right. With a name like Luppoleto, which means hop field, we've always wanted to have somewhere where we could grow some hops.
Nice.
I dig
have
it.
something where we could have a little bit more of an outdoor space. So
Yeah.
we've been working on keeping our eyes open for something like that. And we've got some things we are
Some irons in the
irons
fire.
in the fire
Nice.
of places that are potential possibilities. So yeah, no, we're totally. So anyway, so that's I think what kind of the focus for the next year is try to
Yeah.
figure out the next phase of Luppoleto. What does that look like?
Luppoleto
Um,
2.0.
Yeah, exactly. And figuring out.
Windsor Locks makes a lot of people nervous, but the people who come out of there stronger.
Stronger. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think that's probably what the focus for the next year will be. Keep doing
Nice.
what we're doing. Find out how we can do more of it elsewhere.
I
Yeah.
like that a lot. Keep doing what we're doing and find ways to do it more.
Yep.
But not here.
That's a shirt.
Yep. Yep. And we do want to stay again because we are so tied
Yeah.
to the community
Mm-hmm.
in the area. Our
What
our
is-
customers
It's not
are.
Windsor Locks we have a problem with. It's
It's
this
the plaza.
exact
Yeah.
particular location
Yeah.
and the exact
It's not ideal for us in a lot of ways.
What?
People
You
who
mean
own
the
this
Main
place.
Street Improvement Project didn't improve
It's-
things for you?
look. Political things happened, and the people who we were allies with did not
Yeah.
move
Yeah.
forward. Not that we were hitched to that wagon deeply. It just was we had hopes
Yeah.
that
Some
what,
people are great salespeople.
what they were laying out there was going to happen, and it doesn't look like it's gonna. So,
Yeah.
so we're trying to go back to what we planned to do all along, and we might have that opportunity. So, we'll
Nice.
see.
Well, we wish you the best.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And, keep us posted. And however we can continue to support and help and
Drink.
be there.
It's an important part of the
Yeah.
process.
Drink supports.
It does.
Drinks
It
does
does.
support.
It does. I just meant, in a more supportive kind of manner
What's more
than just
supportive
drinking.
than drinking their wares?
Talking about
Wares.
drinking our wares.
Right,
Uh,
right.
Yeah.
Telling
Promoting
people
the
about
drinking
our
of their
wares.
Drinking of
wares.
your
All
wares.
right, yeah, those are all good.
The
things.
wares
We
and
appreciate
whereabouts
that.
of their wares.
Yes, yeah, all those things. So
Some
many
mileage
wares.
out of that one. I like that.
Yeah. No, we appreciate it. We definitely appreciate
Hell yeah.
all of your support.
Your beers
Yeah.
don't suck.
collab.
No, they
Thanks.
I did it.
Appreciate you.
You son of
Do
a
you want
bitch.
me to stop it so you can do it?
No,
No,
it's
no
done
more
already.
stopping.
Yeah,
And you
it's-
already did it. You stole my line.
Yeah.
I did.
You did.
Our beers
I've
get
been waiting
the
2.5 hours to do it.
two-finger salute.
2 fingers salute. Yep.
It's supposed to be my line. Your beers don't suck.
Well, I heard it in your voice, so if that helps. When he said
Because
it.
he's such a bitch. It's because he's such a bitch.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Well, thank you guys for letting us sit down and chop it up with you guys.
Have some
Our
of your
pleasure.
wares.
Have some of
Yeah.
your wares.
Thank you for
we-
In the
For
current
stopping by.
whereabouts.
Yep.
The current words.
They're always very pleasant to drink.
Yeah.
Always exciting.
We're
Always an array.
Yes.
Well, maybe not always exciting, but
No, it's exciting.
No, it is exciting
It is.
because it's beer-flavored beer.
Beer-flavored beer,
And
man.
for those people that appreciate beer,
Beer-flavored beer.
it's definitely, I know you don't want to be trendy in any way, shape, or form, but the
Well, that-
beer-flavored beer is definitely
it's the trend.
is what's selling right now.
that's a happy accident, and not by any design of our own, and it just is what it is.
It is by design. It was your conviction and your taste.
He means
so.
the fact that it's actually selling at the moment is,
Oh.
is a happy accident.
Okay.
Well, you know
that
what?
are
Not a marketing
our tastes
ploy?
aligned with
Yeah.
the rest of the world.
But
Not
you
a
know,
marketing ploy.
If you follow trends and stuff like that, especially in the beer community, everyone knew it was bound to happen. It
Oh,
was coming
absolutely.
around, especially for the East Coast, because this is something that's been happening in the
Trends-
West Coast for the past 3 years.
Well,
By their
even the
very
super
nature, are
hazies.
short-lived, right? Like
Right.
that's the essence of it. Like if you want your house to look old in a hurry, do a very
Modern
trendy
update,
design.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Because then it'll be like, oh, this is dated,
Yeah.
right?
Make it modern, and then you'll no
right.
longer be modern.
Or we go with the same styles they've been brewing since the 1300s,
Yeah.
and maybe that stuff's going to come back around again.
Exactly.
I don't know.
You
We'll see.
might be onto something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing the thinking.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Thank you guys. And
thank you so much.
And we can't
Thank you.
wait for. Oh my God, I just forgot.
Operation
Festiversary?
Rainbeard Part 2 or
Yes.
Festiversary?
Yes.
Both.
I'm going to
Version
say
5.
Festiversary.
Festiversary.
That's first.
I'm going to try to stop down Saturday.
Okay, cool.
I may pull
Yes.
into the parking lot and
And
get
say,
scared
yeah,
off,
yeah,
but
and that's okay.
my buddy wants to come down Saturday
Yeah,
like
Renee
it's
and
his
I was
job.
planning on coming on Saturday too. So
Come,
Renee
come,
and I
ear-
was planning on coming.
come
Okay.
early, come often.
That's the
That's
best
what-
way,
that's what she
except for
said.
the early.
Story of my life.
2 fingers.
All right. Well, anyway,
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
we appreciate it, and as always.
Drink responsibly, stay wobbly.
And we'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.